You have something to say? Really? Say? You have something to say?
All right. Hi, everybody. How's it going?
I enjoyed Nellie's long, slow build up to a bark. She just looks so angry. She's
like, you
stop staring at me.
Are you? You're looking at me. It's funny the way that she does that, though. If you just look at her for a while, like that's what happens, and I laugh about it every time because it's almost like she doesn't want to, you know. She's just letting. She's like, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it.
I should get video of Sandy. I don't know if she'll do it to a camera so well, but like I should get Sandy sometimes where she does this thing that if you're staring at her and she's staring at you, just like about every 3 or 5 seconds, I just regularly she's just staring. Then she just moves her head forward just a little bit. Like, come on. What?
Make a move. I dare ya.
Yeah.
I dare ya.
It's pretty funny.
You got a haircut.
No, I didn't. I shaved.
Oh, it looks like you got a haircut.
I mean, I got a haircut like 3 or so weeks ago.
Oh.
I mean, I probably haven't shaved since then, so maybe that's what I shaved this morning. Maybe that's what you.
So say
yeah, Clark, I am using a real camera for this setup now, so it is no longer a webcam, and it looks better.
Is this? What's going on here? All right, there we go. So based on recommendations, I'm gonna play some Dead Cells tonight. I don't know how it's gonna go. I really don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know what to expect. I might be bad at it.
Did you see my still loading podcast shirt with the Captain N stuff on it?
It's
an amazing drawing.
Yeah,
I love this drawing.
I can hear Mother Brain's voice when I look at it.
Yeah, I found out that this shirt exists when I was on the podcast to talk about new Super Mario Brothers on DS for Mario month, which is March, of course.
Yeah. I've been like looking to like do another thing on there. I haven't done actually anything outside of the two interview that we did, like the interview that we did about the channel. But they asked like, oh, do you want to do a one on Mario Galaxy 2? I'm like, man, I haven't played that since it came out.
Yeah, I want to replay that someday because I remember at the time, like people were just like, oh, this is so amazing. Like the level design is just such a step up from the first game. And like, I didn't necessarily feel that the level design was that much of a step up, and the other aesthetic trappings that were dialed back, like definitely lowered the game for me in general. Like the soundtrack wasn't as good. It didn't have, the overworld was great. The hub area was great, and all the Rosalina story time stuff, that was all great stuff. And I felt like the level design of the second game wasn't enough to make up for what they took out,
Yeah. I mean, it felt like an expansion, which basically it was,
Yeah.
Like a level pack, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's good, but I haven't played it since it came out.
Yeah, I haven't either. Like that was probably the first Super Mario game that I didn't like
do 100% of it.
Do 100% it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about, because I mean, I've never 100%ed. I don't think I've done 3D Land. I don't think I've done 3D World. I don't think I've done New Super Mario Brothers U. I definitely haven't done New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah.
I haven't done Odyssey, which I would love to do, but that one I feel compelled to do, but I have not.
Yeah. So here's something, before I get into the game, I want to get an idea of what people might think about this idea. So I was talking to Chris a few days ago, Classic Gaming Quarterly, and he had a really good idea. And I talked to Matt about this, and he's like way into it.
So you did talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday. Chris had a really good suggestion, saying like, you should do something with that theme music you have. And then I was like, yeah, I should. Yeah, we should. And I realized the place we got the Blu-rays done at, they also do vinyl. And like, what if we did like a small like print run of vinyl singles, like 7-inch, they have like the theme music on one side and like his lyric version on the other. And if there's enough room, like maybe we could do something where it's like the theme music and also the Analog Frontiers.
Oh yeah.
On one side. Like I'd have to look into it, but I mean, it just seems like a cool idea that people might be into.
Yeah, I mean,
the minimum that they allow
I'm
for
personally not into vinyl, but I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, and Matt was like, "Oh, that would be so cool to do that." I'm like, okay. In the minimum amount to get made is $200, and it's like $2,000 to get that made. So I mean, like, I feel like, I have no idea like what we had charged for something like that to kind of figure it out, but I think that
yeah, and I don't know shipping would kind of be a different ball game with those as well,
right?
Because I don't know how you ship a vinyl to keep it safe. We'd have to figure that out.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I would just wanted to kind of throw that out there and see if that's something that people would be interested in. Because like his version with lyrics is kind of a different version of the song, and then it's not the same version that we use for our intro, which came like way before. And he added like a lot of layered in instruments into that, so they'd be pretty different versions.
Because he was basically like, like, hey, here's like a song I kind of was tinkering around on, and you guys can use that for your theme.
Yeah.
And he like kind of finished it later.
Right. Oh geez, that's real big, that donation ticker thing. Like, it should not be that big. Okay, so here's the other thing.
Is it not lined up correctly?
No, I mean,
or is it like the wrong size?
Yeah, I don't know if it's changed.
Like,
what.
Did you enter like the frame like size in the source?
Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be like that big. But so I guess the other thing is I figured out a way to. This is something I wanted to do for a while, but I realized yesterday when I was in the shower that it would be super easy to do this the way I have things positioned in here. Is that I can use my old PC as a way to stream to Twitch, and then use my main PC to capture. So and you experiment with that? Yeah. Oh yeah. The last 2 days I've been streaming on our Twitch channel.
I haven't seen it, but...
like 3 hours each time, and basically I'm just recording stuff and trying out different things like on my main setup and on my main computer, and recording on my main computer, but it's feeding through to go to my other PC, and I'm using that with OBS running in that to stream to Twitch. And it's just, I realized we hadn't streamed on Twitch since the day we got the PS5. That was the last time we streamed on there. And, I feel like I could just I would totally do that if it's this easy to do. I would do that all the time if I was recording stuff. And maybe just, I could easily do unboxings of stuff and just lots of easy
fresh meat.
You'll notice I updated the sound effects on here as well.
I haven't been hearing them on my end, unfortunately. I don't know if
Oh, I guess I'm not.
I probably can't.
I'm not feeding you the PC audio. Now I am. But you know, if
I like Mr. Dew's suggestion for your memoirs, shower thoughts by Coury.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like half the time you come to me with something new. It's like, so in the shower today, I was thinking, I mean, I do that too.
Yeah. There's been a couple of donations here. There's $5 from Wisteria, who we haven't seen in a little bit. Was here a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. But we hadn't seen her in a little while.
Fresh meat.
You can hear people subscribing to the Twitch channel when every time you hear fresh meat.
Oh,
I'm surprised it's not popping up there. I don't know, like that's have certain things like I thought that they would be separate. You know, like I didn't realize that they're connected like this. But Vanessa is saying, last day of vacation, I get to watch MLiG and some Dead Castlevania. So
yeah, well, and Vanessa actually kicked off the super chats for tonight, 6 minutes ago.
Yeah,
thank you.
Well, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get to the game and then.
Yeah, let's do it because Vanessa says in her comment here, last day of my vacation, I get to watch MLiG and some Dead Castlevania.
Don't expect me to get to the Castlevania stuff. This is my. I played a little bit of it at before.
Fresh meat.
Oh, can you not just jump into Castlevania?
I don't know. I don't know.
So I know very, very little about this game, but like this is getting a little outside our comfort zone, I think, right?
Yes.
Or maybe now that you're into Returnal, maybe it is our comfort zone. Who could say?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see how it goes.
So this is the first time you streamed from the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
What are you? Oh, you were like a pile of trash, and now you're I don't know what you are.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call that thing you are. So what controller are you using?
I am using the 8BitDo Ultimate controller. I plugged the 2.5 or 2.4G dongle into the
fresh meat.
Into the dock.
Are the button mappings weird on the like are the button prompts correct based on the Xbox buttons we see on screen here, or no?
I mean, it seems to be. We're gonna find out.
I mean, I've kind of gotten to the point recently where, you know, I just use the Xbox Series controller for any time I need to plug a controller into the PC, which is not frequently, but I've just been doing that lately because it requires the least configuration, and I really like the D-pad on it. So, you know,
wait, which one? This one?
The Series, Xbox Series controller.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's the least configuration, and I really like the even though the D-pad's in the off position, like it's a really good D-pad in my opinion. So I basically, like, I used, like, back in the 360 days when everyone was, you know, all fawning over the 360 controller, like I never thought it was that good. You know, especially because of the D-pad, you know, and it could not be like an all-arounder PC controller because of that in my opinion. But like, I have no complaints about the Series controller at all. So that's, or really even the One controller, but I think the Series controllers are just a hair better. Oh, Keegan Jacobson saying, you guys are ready for the eShop closing tomorrow. Is it really tomorrow? Dang. I am ready because I got Pokemon Picross downloaded to all three of my 3DS systems.
There you go. That's what you needed to do.
I haven't hacked my Wii U yet. You know, I'm not especially interested in doing so, but I want to have the option to do so. But as far as I know, there's no prep I have to do to hack the Wii U. Like, I think you just need the browser, which should function fine, as far as I know.
I think so, yeah.
You know, it's amazing to me. I guess I didn't realize how Twilight Princess HD had gotten expensive.
Oh, I didn't know it had either.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver did a DF video a week or two ago.
Oh, right, yeah.
Looking at you know, some Wii U games that he thought, you know, were worth looking at as things that are either exclusive to Wii U or offer some interesting advantage on them. You know, just sort of a eulogy. And that's a real Castlevania looking map screen. I'm sure it was always that way before. This is not Castlevania, right?
No.
This is just the regular game.
Right.
I
mean, I just want to figure out how to play it first.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty standard. Because someone's saying I need to die 3 times before it really picks up.
Well, like, what's your goal?
I don't really know yet.
Oh, Cohibadad says that you don't need Picross anymore?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. All my systems are hacked, so I have stopped paying attention now. Just one upgrade.
All your 3DSs?
Yeah.
I don't have any of mine hacked, but I want to be able to do so if I need to. You know, when I was downloading just a couple weeks ago, I was downloading Pokemon Picross, all my systems. Man, I gotta tell you what, like revisiting the original 3DS, like that screen looks pretty great.
The small one? I mean, that's why I wanted the small, like new 3DS, because it has like that pixel density.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't understand the appeal of that, but not only that, like I liked the white balance, like, because I've said before, I kind of like, I mean, not like a white balance to where like white looks like it's blue, but like I like a colder white balance, because to me, that looks, to my eyes at least, that looks like more what I would consider true white. And so I like both of them are like really closely matched. Like actually I didn't remember this being the case at all, but my 3DS XL, the non-new, just the regular XL, like it's, the white balance on its screens are pretty far apart.
Well, it's really warm, right?
I forget which one is warmer and which one is cooler, but yeah, my two screens are not very well matched. And not only that, on the touch screen, there's kind of this like hot spot where it looks like just a little spot where it looks like more light is leaking through. So that system is that's definitely the weakest of my 3DS systems. I mean, I really like my new system. I mean, the white balance isn't perfect between them, but you know, it is the new system. But I will say, revisiting that original, it was like, oh, it's kind of nice. I ain't gonna
that's why I wanted the regular size new.
Yeah. Now I kind of wish I had one. Not necessarily that I don't know if I would consider it my main system, but now I kind of wish I'd gotten one like as a for posterity system. But then who knows what your chances of winning the screen lottery even are, you know?
Yeah. Did you get see the other Streamlabs? There was a
yeah. I'll catch up on that in a second. But before I just wanted to comment that the BBA said, interesting, I like a warmer white balance. I like when I'm doing color correction for a video or a photo, I like pulling the highlights down toward cool just a little bit, just until it feels white to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I like midtones to be warm. Like but white, I like to be, you know, what looks to me like white, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, of course, it's not like within that space everything looks cold. You know, I mean, if a scene in a game or a movie is meant to look warm, it still looks warm, but it's just that the white balance, the white, I want to, you know, I just tend towards cool. But like on the C1, for instance, I noticed that the neutral on that feels right to me. Whereas on the C2 OLED, I went to a cool setting. I can't remember exactly which one. I think it was it might have been in the video. Well, actually, I think it was the same cool setting that I like on the C7, I liked on the C2. But the C1, I like the neutral setting. I thought the cool was too cool. And on neutral, I felt white looked like white. So it depends on the screen. But anyway, back to the super chats. Apologies for that. Gosh, we really got on a ramble, and I didn't realize so much time had passed. I'm sorry about that. There was a notification that Legendary K4 has been a member 2 months in a row.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
A relative newcomer. Hope you hang around. Thank you. Saying, I think it's worth switching from a SNES Junior to a one chip just to use the HD Retrovision component cable since it won't require an RGB mod. Also, yes to vinyl. Well, it's definitely a good idea. I think we should very much take that idea seriously. I don't know if Matt might need to like master.
Oh, so he
way.
talked about he would like to, you know, do some stuff. He might,
because I think mastering for vinyl is like different from mastering for digital, but I don't know the details. I mean, if you don't want to use an RGB mod, or any kind of mod, so the regular one chips, or really all one chips, including the Junior, the colors are too bright. That's a flaw that we didn't really know about or talk about or understand that it was incorrect, like back when a long time ago when we made our Super Nintendo 200 video.
I feel like I need to change, like this is great. You can change the appearance of the food source in this game. This changes purely for the aesthetic. And it looks like they just added Castlevania-esque.
Oh.
So we'll switch that to Castlevania-esque.
What would Half-Life even be?
I don't know.
Like, don't you just pick up like regular health packs, or you like go to like the health stations? Well, Castlevania-esque, I'm all about that.
Is there, so really quick, is there anything that, like, what carries over?
Well, while you wait for people to answer that, so all of the one chips, including the Junior, regardless of whether you're using composite or S-Video or RGB, they're all too bright. There are some colors that are so close to white that they almost blend into white. You know, like at first you look at this and you're like, wow, this looks really bright and great and awesome. But it is incorrect technically. You know, you'll see areas where it's maybe not quite as it should be. The HD Retrovision cables, however, have a brightness switch on them that is meant to help bring one chip consoles in line with regular consoles. And I to be honest, I've never made, that I recall anyway, like a comparison of what a one chip with the HD Retrovision attenuation switch on looks like versus a regular system with it off, like to compare the colors. I've never done that. But I would believe that it probably works quite well. So, I mean, I don't know what one chip Super Nintendos are going for these days. So it's up to you whether that's worth it when you see the price tag. I mean, I know the HD Retrovision cables aren't quite the price they used to be either. You know, they've had to go up. I mean, that stuff's expensive to make, you know. But yeah, I mean, that's what I can tell you about it. But really, to get even a one chip, to get the most out of it, it can be worth it actually to have like an RGB mod in a one chip, just to, you know, because Coury, you did a video on it years ago. If you've seen that video, Legendary K4, you know, he kind of explains how that is for any one chip, and it just improves overall quality, even though you don't technically have to have the mod. The biggest thing to me though, and I think you mentioned this in that video, because I believe at the time it was a very recent discovery, so I don't remember for 100% for sure if it made it into the video yet or not. But the bigger thing is there's a capacitor on the one chip consoles, and this applies to every one chip, including the Junior. There's a capacitor that is not an optimal value, and I think it was Voltar who figured it out. And you replace that capacitor with a better one of a certain value, and it gets rid of this kind of ghosting effect that honestly it's not really visible on CRTs to my recollection anyway. Not necessarily even PVMs, but there's like this repeating pattern that you'll see, especially if there's like a character or an object with like a dark outline. The easiest place to see it is like the first level in Mega Man X. Like as soon as you start in the level, the life bar, you'll sort of see like repeating ghosts of it off to the right of it. And that's a one chip problem. You know, that's not an issue with regular Super Nintendo consoles. Their regular consoles are blurry, of course. They do not have that ghosting issue. So, I say that all to say that there are if, ands, buts, and other considerations when it comes to one chips. I would recommend at the very least getting that capacitor replaced. Especially if you're using like an OSSC or a RetroTink, because you will notice, I think, that problem. So anyway, I'm
brave and courageous.
There was a $1.99 from Andy Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying get an awesome, cool graphic designer for the vinyl.
Yeah.
Or it could just be like a photo of noise off of like white noise off of a CRT.
That's true.
I could see that.
So you were saying that the people in the chat were saying I lose the blueprints when I die. Is there any way can I like turn them into somebody and like preserve them somehow?
Like that's kind of like in the data cubes in Returnal, right?
Yeah.
Where you could get the item on future playthroughs if you deposit the data cube. I see it looks like you can map a lot of things to a lot of buttons. Is a little overwhelming.
Maybe.
Also, by the way, I noticed that on this scene, the new overlay is on top of
Oh, I got it.
gameplay
I can
or whatever.
adjust it. Like, it shouldn't be that big. I didn't expect it to carry over from.
Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know why it did.
But you didn't mean to. You wanted the old setup, the old ticker.
Yeah, I just wanted like a separate one for both of them. You know, I didn't think it would carry over like this. It shouldn't be. But I mean, I was hearing like 2 instances of sound effects, and I have no idea why that's happening. You know, stuff like that. It just makes me regret like even trying. You know, like if why do you have to log in separately if it's all going to be in the same thing?
Irma, she says, "Try got me to turn on my Wii and play some Galaxy 2, but maybe also play some Resident Evil 4 Wii while I'm at it." Yeah, man, Resident Evil 4 Wii. That's where it's at. I still haven't. I like for whatever reason, like this is a little uncharacteristic. I mean, part of it's just being busy, but you know, I have put off Resident Evil 4 Remake for now. I'm definitely excited to play it, but you know, it sounds like, you know, based on the DF coverage, like it might behoove me to wait a patch or two anyway. And I'm like, part of me is really tempted to just wait for the PSVR 2 mode and make that my excuse for getting a PSVR 2. But anyway, there was, as you moved it down there was a $7 super chat from EB Chill 2. Thank you. Saying Corey's Wii Virtual Console pick Euphoria is still available on the Wii U store. My last purchase. Have a great week. Oh man, you know, I came kind of close a year or two ago to sinking the money on a Euphoria Famicom cart.
That's good.
I couldn't bring myself to do it though. Maybe someday. I did. That was one of the last things I got on the Wii Virtual Console. I started playing through it on a marathon stream once. I think it was a Backloggery marathon stream.
That's good.
Oh, I'm hearing that's good now.
Yeah, you should be now.
But
That's good.
See, it's doing it 3 times, and I don't know why it did it 3 times.
Oh,
Which
maybe
is,
it was catching up.
It's not. I'll just have to figure it out another time. Did it just do it again? Maybe it did it again?
I don't know. I didn't hear it. But yeah, I started Euphoria, but never got back to finishing.
Really?
Well, you know, because it was started on like a marathon stream, and I can't exactly remember all the circumstances.
Okay, so I
But you know, I guess it was bad context for starting the game.
so
Wow, that
let's
guy
get to it.
was all up in your business.
Yeah. That's the problem with like I don't read enough like during these streams. I always miss stuff.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. Like trying to learn a complicated game. That's why when I played Returnal on the stream, I did a cycle on my own. And that game is very good at teaching you how to play. Not to say that this isn't necessarily, but it's hard to take in information.
Yeah.
Written or spoken information on a stream, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, there's a lot of people who are very good at streaming RPGs, and I don't know how they do it. That's why when we've streamed RPGs, well, Chrono Cross ended up being a bit of a flop last week, but, you know, the Final Fantasy IV thing I did, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't need to.
You've like played through.
I don't need to pay that much attention to Final Fantasy IV.
No.
I know I know close enough to what I'm doing in Final Fantasy IV, you know?
Right.
Oh, Vanessa says Castlevania content is now open. I guess if you want it.
That was the where all the bats flew by.
But I mean, maybe play the main game for a while and then, because hey, we got all stream.
Yeah.
There was a $10 super chat from Andy64. Thank you, saying, "Hey guys, what's the deal with that Amico console? What about all those exclusive games that were in development, like the remake of Fox and Forest called Finnegan Fox?" I hadn't heard about that. We both got. We both got Fox and Forests.
Yeah, I was. It looked
we
better
were.
I was pretty
we were
lukewarm on it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we only played like a level or two, and I was just not feeling it. It impressed in the
Ooh,
trailer, but
bounce off.
I gotta say, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. But anyway, yeah, I honestly know very little about the fallout of the Amico, but like none of the pre-release marketing filled me with any confidence. But yeah, I don't know that much about it. I mean, Tommy Tallarico is I think he's a big deal because he wants to be a big deal. He's good at making himself known.
Fresh meat.
But there was also a $2 super chat from good old Jonathan Henson. Thank you. Saying, love the Ambernick video. OEM and FPGA hardware will always be your focus, but it was great to see emulation viewed through the MLiG lens. I know I keep saying it, but when approached correctly, modern emulation can be really amazing. And I think a lot of people actually kind of resonated with your approach to it,
it's done a lot
I saw
better
one comment that said this thing looks like a perfect bedside time waster.
Yeah, I mean that's
which is exactly how you were viewing it.
Yeah. Or just it's durable enough that you can just like throw it in a backpack, and take it on a trip with you.
Mhm.
Like if you're not playing through anything, you need to focus on. Like it's just something you can just toss in your bag and be fine with it. Like I think like I'll totally take it like on quick little trips where I'm like not actively playing something, because it's just like a good way to research stuff.
Yeah, just be like, because sometimes when you go on a trip, you're like, well, I want to play something, but I don't really feel like getting involved with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just a good way to just like mess around with a few things.
There's a lot of little bits in that video that was just kind of off the cuff, and the whole bit about doom scrolling social media at the end was totally off the cuff. It's mainly because I've been listening to the new Metric album, and there's a song on there called Doom Scroller.
I mean, you're 100% right. Like playing an Ambernick or an Analog Pocket or a Switch or a or a Steam Deck or an original Game Boy is a whole heck of a lot more productive and healthy than that.
Yeah.
Like, what good is that doing anyone? Least of all yourself.
Yeah.
None.
Is there anything like what would people recommend that I like dump my cells into here? I'm gonna dump it into the random melee weapon.
Are cells your souls?
Basically, but you lose them when you die.
Well,
Or I
you
mean,
also lose souls when you die.
right? But I
guess
but
there's
you can't
no way to
recover them.
get
I don't think.
You can't recover them because the levels are randomized, right?
Yeah. Ooh, how do I parry? Do I just attack when? If I just hit them?
Doom scroller sounds like a cool Doom game. I'd play a Doom side scroller.
So I've not played Hollow Knight, so that's why the sword doesn't look very familiar.
You know, it's so interesting. I've talked to a number of people who like Hollow Knight was like a really big thing when it came out, and there's a lot of people who really love Hollow Knight. But then I've talked to like just a handful of people who like have thoughtfully concluded that they just don't like Hollow Knight very much.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember if I ever heard a lot of specifics into why, but I wonder what I'll end up thinking about it. Because I mean, you know, it was like in the, I just used it as an example in the M Classic and 4K Gamer Pro episode, just because I was like, oh, like that game has like this like very stark contrast, very low color aesthetic. Like I just was like, well, what's this going on? You know, like kind of an approach to like how you've been, I think, with, you know, testing out stuff for like more interesting ROM hacks.
Yeah.
And also
Man, this
for
is
your
gonna be
Ambernick video, just be like, hey, like what? Like, hey, I thought of this game. Like, let's just try that on this thing. You know, like
Yeah.
I was just thinking of all the examples that I could think of, and that was why that video for me went so smoothly, because like it was just so dead easy to make a bunch of comparisons and try just a bunch of stuff. And
That's good.
so that was that you know that went really well. But I say that to say, like I've played like I don't think I've even played to where you have to swing a weapon and Hollow Knight. So like, I've played like the first screener. So
I guess there's gonna be 2 notifications for every thing tonight. I'll fix it.
I wonder if it's because it's integrated into Twitch somehow, and it's like playing a version for Twitch and a version for YouTube.
It shouldn't be integrated into Twitch in any way. I mean, it's a separate login. I don't know.
Well, I'll figure it out, I guess.
Ooh, I see. If you give me the option to dual wield daggers or swords or anything like that, I'm gonna choose that over anything.
Yeah, it's hard for me to choose a shield over more offense.
No, I mean, this is just like a single weapon slot, but if you give me the option to like have 2 weapons like this. So in the new episode of Mandalorian, there's this flashback.
Wait, there's new episodes of that now?
Yeah, it's the 3rd season.
I still haven't seen the first season.
But there's a quick little flashback to like Order 66 during it.
Yeah.
And a Jedi comes along and saves the little baby Yoda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who I'm sure you are familiar with.
I mean, I'm aware of the existence of it. No one cannot be aware of the existence of it.
Right. So
I don't know anything about it.
but the person who plays the Jedi that saves him is Ahmed Best.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing. And I was like, oh. And there's one part where he like has 2 lightsabers, and he just like has a really badass little scene.
Well, that's, good for him.
Exactly.
He's earned it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was like, I didn't realize it was him until like the end.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Am I missing a door here?
Anyway, there was a $4.99 super chat from old Paul Sutton
Oh, thank you.
saying, I heard the original Switch has more accurate colors than the better battery life Switch. Can you confirm/deny? I've got a launch Switch, and I've never used. I've never used. One of the was it Mariko?
Go back to the far left. What am I missing?
Switches.
Like, I feel like I'm just. There's stuff to the far left that I'm missing here.
I mean, I imagine.
I can't. Like, I'm. You want me to go? Should I go in here and go in this door? Okay.
I imagine that, the vendors who have, screens available for the price Nintendo wants to pay, is almost a separate thing from, whatever model of system they're working on. Those specifications, I would imagine, probably change, and as long as they're compatible, I wouldn't be surprised if there are many of the same model Switch with totally different quality of screens, just like it's so rampant in 3DS and DS. So yeah, and I used Coury's OLED for like a few seconds.
I feel like I should.
I'm not gonna lie. I have been a little tempted lately. Like, if even though like there's probably gonna be another Switch within like the real Switch 2 within a year. Like, I've got that. If there's a Tears of the Kingdom OLED and it doesn't look stupid, I could be tempted. Could be tempted. I feel like I've been thinking about it more after MVG did that video where he was skeptical that the next Switch would have full backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't say it was impossible, but it based on the assumed hardware that Nintendo would have access to, it would take work to get full backwards compatibility.
Well, it doesn't seem like. It seems like it'd be a bad decision for them.
It would be. It would be. But it's also kept me thinking, kind of like, just in case, maybe I should get it. But I don't.
Well,
I mean, honestly, like I'm still quite happy with my launch model. Like, I mean, I don't think the LCD on it's that bad. I don't know if I certainly wouldn't prefer to play like a horror game that way. With all the dark
this
colors
permanent
and
room
stuff,
unlocks
but,
the custom mode. What is the custom
I
mode?
think it looks perfectly fine for typical content. Madonna he wants me to remind you to use your trigger weapons.
Okay.
It looks like you have a
Yeah.
is that a syringe and a drone, a demon drone. What is that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is that it's doing something? Is that like a? Looks like it could be a.
Alucard 971 has some realistic expectations, saying, oh, you know, as long as Age of Calamity works at 60 frames per second with 2 players.
With 2
know.
players?
Yeah, let's.
Is it supposed to be multiplayer in some way?
I have no clue. I'm assuming this is a joke. We all know we should have no such expectations. I mean, I've been trying to not pay that much attention. Like,
Oh yeah,
I saw the most recent Nintendo Direct trailers, but like I haven't like thought about them since. Like I've tried to mostly forget about it.
What is that? So what is the syringe thing? I don't know.
Regarding your dual wielding, we've been notified that Nana Cheesecake has been a member for 4 months in a row. And says, but instead you dual wield notifications. That's good. Happy Sunday.
Well, if I could turn off dual wielding notifications.
120 FPS chubbins or failure. I mean, if DLSS 3 is on the Switch too, and you can get frame generation with backwards compatible games, I mean, there you go. I'm still skeptical though of like how or if frame generation could even work with pixel grid based content. Although I don't know if I've not played Chubbins myself, so I don't know if it is pixel grid based, but I remain skeptical about how it would actually work for 2D content.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I've never seen it outside of DF videos for 3D content, for that matter. And even then, you can't get the true sense of it, you know, watching a video, because YouTube doesn't do 120 frames per second. Renato, supposedly Coury has access to Castlevania now. It did not take long for you to get access to it, but you have not played it.
Yeah, I mean, I barely played the game, period, so. I'm almost dead. So
I see Cloud FF7 2000 says, sadly, no chubbins at PAX. And, you know, I was talking to our good friend Ganny Man last night, and he and his daughter went to PAX and were front and center for the Final Fantasy 16 panel. He showed me pictures of just right there. Apparently, it was I meant to watch the video of that panel today, but apparently I'm told it was good.
That's another one. Like, I just have not paid attention at all. Like, I can't tell you anything about it.
I mean, I've avoided looking at the recent press previews that they've been showing, like some gameplay and stuff.
So what is this?
I am definitely going to take a few days to binge that game when the day it comes out. Like, basically, no matter what I'm doing, it doesn't matter what I'm working on. Like, I am playing that day one.
I mean, you're not. I'm starting to feel like you're gonna finish like less than half of your endless.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, you know, I'm playing Breath of the Wild and Final Fantasy 16 no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm not playing those.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, I feel good that I've gotten as much done now.
I wish I had. It's been slower than expected this year in many dimensions. Man, I got a notification on my phone that a picture I took of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the other day was like 1 year ago today, and like that game feels so fresh in my memory. Like it does not feel like a year. I guess that's crazy.
Oh, there he is. I'll go with him. Richter.
I feel like that game. Oh hey, look, wow, he's huge compared to you.
Yeah.
Why is he so big?
Why not?
But man, I feel like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That game probably just like stuck with me more than anything I've played in like the past 2 or 3 years. Like I think that might, well, I don't know, there is Resident Evil 2. But like outside of Resident Evil 2 remake, I don't think any game that I've picked for my game of the year, for all of the years that we've done the games we've played, it's nearly tied with. Oh, is that what's her name?
Is that Shinoa? Is that what?
Shinoa? Yeah.
Maybe I accidentally.
She says something about a master of glyph magics or something, which I think glyphs is the term for what Shinoa does. What? Paul Sutton, who has been a member for 2 years and 1 month now, says, true story, turned down an offer of $130 for a sealed Game Gear Surf Ninjas today.
That's what he's
6 years ago,
right?
I had them priced $10 and never sold one. Holy smokes.
And that's what he gave it to you, right? And he sent you it as a joke.
Well, yeah, and now one Mr. Audie Surly is the proud owner of it, because like when I showed him the picture of it, he was like I actually really want that.
I'm listening to this
Which
music.
of course he would.
You hear this music?
Oh, this is sounding good.
It does sound or it doesn't?
I said it is sounding good.
Yeah.
I mean, I could only hear so much.
I want to get these candles.
If you jump in the right place, does a crown come out of the ground? Or a treasure chest? I forget if it's a crown or a treasure chest.
I don't know.
It's like a Castlevania 1 thing.
I mean, they probably is this DLC. I wonder if it's like a little bit easier because they probably felt like it's going to get a lot of more people into the game, and they kind of made it more accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it's so interesting. Like, it sound like didn't someone say last week that it's only 3 levels? Like, I mean, I don't know how extensive the level is in Castlevania or in Dead Cells, but like there was like this like huge, long, elaborate trailer for it. Was it the Game Awards where that trailer was? I forget exactly. but I mean, I was definitely like disappointed at first because it's like, oh, this doesn't seem like the kind of game that I would necessarily want to play, but you know, who knows? Like, I am more open to games like this, I think, since Returnal, but you know, still know
this is definitely
really gonna be
fun
my
to play.
jam. But huh?
I mean, I guess that's kind of the thing to think about. Like, what I've been thinking about is, you know, like, this is more so than a lot of games. This is more like just pure gameplay. Like, it's just, hey, this is going to be a different experience, and you got to really learn the game.
Right. Well, and I think that's a big part of the appeal, actually, of roguelite games in general. And I think that's a big part of the reason that game developers want to make them, and why some people take it shine to them is it is just purely about it's about learning
Like, super fast.
It's learning the mechanics, right? And really getting in tune with the mechanics. And I can understand that perspective, but I also feel like it's level design that is a big part of what imprints a game on my memory.
Oh, there he is. Oh, Alucard.
Wait, does it have his original? Does it have his voice? I hear some voice acting.
No, there's no voice. It's just like sounds.
Oh,
It's like muffled voices.
remember when we shared a booth next to Alucard's voice actor? At,
Yeah.
Too Many Games. And we never said hi.
Yeah.
Atari Fuzz, I don't think Nintendo's going to abandon carts for the next Switch, because I've heard that especially in like Europe, like it's like physical games are still a very significant part of their sale, more so than other consoles. Like it sounds like physical is still a bigger part of Nintendo's sales. So I don't think they're going to abandon that. What I will say, and I think I might have mentioned this maybe even last week, I would like them to have like an SSD in the system, even if it's not the biggest in the world. But I would like them to, you know, have, even if it means installing a game in a way similar to, you know, current PlayStation and Xbox, you know, if it would allow for faster loading, I think that would be worth it. Maybe not as a requirement, but just as an option. You know, you have the option to install a game to an internal SSD. I think that would be nice. I mean, I guess alternatively as well, like new cartridges could be faster, and the system could have more bandwidth to read them. But I imagine it would be expensive to make cartridges that fast, whereas you could just make the SSD inside the system. It would take a while to install, but you know, during gameplay it would be fast.
Oh, that's cool. How do I parry? I don't know how I parry.
I apologize. I think I accidentally missed Vanessa.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna.
Saying can unlock most stuff in Castlevania DLC except runes. So does she mean for the main game? Like you can, the things you're unlocking in Castlevania can apply to the main game as well.
Yeah, I think so. She just says if it gets to be too much, you can go to the assist options and turn it into Rondo blood type continuous system instead of dying back to the beginning. Oh, cool. So you can start at a checkpoint.
So they make it even more Castlevania-like.
But that's cool. Like, so you can die 3 times before you get sent back.
Oh, that's fun.
That's a kind of a good.
That's a good compromise.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
That's my kind of old school. That's the school I grew up in.
Yeah. How do I parry? Easier parry. You need ruins from the main game to parry. Okay. I'll do that for now. Oh, with a shield. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't. And I'm gonna. I feel interested enough to learn it because it is very, very fun to play.
Do you see yourself, if you continue this, do you see yourself playing it as you are now or on the Steam Deck screen itself?
I mean, probably back in both ways. I could see,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just seems like it's a game that probably has limitless replayability.
Yeah. I mean, you could bring it to Midwest Gaming Classic and play it there.
No.
Speaking of which, I guess we haven't really thought about it, but like, we're not gonna be able to stream next week.
Yeah, there won't be a stream next week because we'll both be at the Midwest Gaming Classic. We don't come back till Monday.
Yeah, which is unusual. Usually, travel back is, when you're a guest at the convention, usually you leave the last day of the convention.
Yeah.
But they actually have us staying the entire time. So yeah, we're not going to be able to stream next week. So be prepared to do something else on Sunday. There was a $10 super chat from Lasher Deviants Gaming. Thank you. Saying if you guys haven't already played it and you like this one, you should check out Rogue Legacy 2. Definitely a title I have heard of, but I don't know much about it.
I have the first one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, who knows? Returnal could have opened the floodgates for either one of us or both of us on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the checkpoint is back a lot further than I was expecting. So I think it's the beginning of the area, which is fine. I think that's.
But you're not penalized in any way for using it.
It doesn't seem to be. He says, having to do the whole thing.
That's a nice feature that still has, the old school challenge. That seems appropriate. And speaking of Midwest Gaming Classic, there was a $2 super chat from Adam Stalker saying, "Decided to go to my first Midwest Gaming Classic. Are you doing a panel? I saw that the EGM one is Saturday evening." That's a great question. Did you find out if we're doing?
So we're not doing a panel just for us. They asked us to do like 2, like YouTube focus panels.
Okay.
One
Like
on
with
each
other
day.
with multiple
Although,
people.
they're both similar, but I think that one of them might be like right before, like the like right before or after the EGM panel, which I just found out about, and I want to like shoot video of that, so that might change our plan for that one specifically.
Okay,
So-
or I could.
Yeah,
Do
or else
that.
yeah, because I mean, there's no way I can miss the EGM panel.
Yeah, you can't miss that. But but then again, you might need my help if you want to get more footage.
Right. Well, I mean, we might have to get everyone mic'd up. I mean, there's a lot of different things that
Huh?
we might. I think there's 4 people, like people from EGM on that panel, and I definitely want you to bring.
Are they all people we've met before?
No, there's one person we have not met.
Who all's on?
It's Ray Price, Trickman Terry, Ken Williams, and Mike Vallis, we've never met.
Okay.
And I think that Frank Spaldi is doing. He is supposed to be like moderating.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, he's not actually on the guest list, but I knew he was going to be there.
Yeah.
He probably should be on the guest list. There was a 1999 super chat from
Ooh.
good old Scott Davis.
Oh, thank you.
Always good to see you in here. Saying, hey dudes, my first OLED, the LG C2, arrives this week. Thank you for all the advisory videos over the years. I can't wait to calibrate and test the heck out of the TV. Gonna replay every Souls game with perfect black levels. Ooh, that sounds like a ambitious undertaking. I would really like to replay Dark Souls 3.
Have you not played that?
No, I'd like to replay it.
Oh.
Like I 2 is not as good in my opinion and in general opinion. But it was, it was fine. But like I remember at the time of playing it, like liking Dark Souls 3 like almost basically as much as the first Dark Souls. But I will say that
Oh, it's the
I
librarian.
remember extremely
I'm
little
interested
about
in
it.
this.
It was the first one left a much bigger impression on my memory. Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 are the ones that left the biggest impression on my memory. And Bloodborne to an extent as well. I'd like to replay that, although that's got to be due for some kind of revival, I would think.
I saw someone mention earlier about Maria, like a cat, but I didn't see the cat.
Huh. Madashi, he says, I didn't think you played Souls games. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm way behind. I started Sekiro. Oh gosh, last year or was it the year before? I don't know. I started on a stream because it was a backloggery stream directorship, and I fully intended to continue with it right then and there, just on my own, but it didn't happen. Obviously, at this point, it's been so long, I'd have to restart it. I've not played Elden Ring, but I did play Demon Souls. So yeah, I really love those games. You tried Bloodborne and decided it wasn't for you, but then like you felt like you got a taste of the satisfaction of like the modern take on hard video games with Return.
Yeah, but also,
you want to give a Souls game another chance. So.
well, one of the reasons I want to give it a chance is because I didn't think about the fact that, or didn't know that, you know, it encourages, you know, like multiplayer for bosses.
Yeah.
Which is not something I ever tried, I guess.
Right. I mean, I'm big into multiplayer for bosses. I mean, I know the get good sect of the Souls fandom, you know, is all about taking on bosses by themselves. But I like summoning some help. I like helping people until I feel confident on the boss, and then I summon my own
That's the whole
help.
point, right? Is that
Yeah.
you know, it's like sharing the knowledge. And
Right,
like
exactly.
like passing
Like,
the knowledge forward, and then once you like understand it, then you probably go and you help out other people.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
It's about, you know, paying it forward.
Yeah, so
And I can appreciate that, and that's something.
It's a very cool multiplayer system that, you know, doesn't have the aspects of multiplayer that I don't have. Although, you know, I you know, Sekiro actually does not have multiplayer, which is kind of crazy to think about. So that's one reason that game is pretty intimidating. I honestly, I don't know if Elden Ring does. I assume it does, but I don't actually know, to tell you the truth. But I think Demon Souls remake would be a really good place for you to start because it's more level based.
Oh, come on. You know what the thing
Like-
is, like it much like Returnal. Like things can go from being fine to real bad really quick. Like things, you know, you think you're just doing just fine, and then everything just falls apart like out of nowhere. Like, why am I losing half my health?
Okay, yes, Elden Ring does have co-op. Biggest Scorch says for bosses and some other stuff. So does it not have like co-op like through the main flow of the levels as much? Which like I mean I can understand since it's I guess a significantly larger world. Who are these supposed to be particular characters around the fountain? Nah, it's just mirrored. I guess not.
So can I? This is for the chat. Can I like use a teleporter to like go back to the person who has the souls or the cells and trade them in? Is that encouraged to do, or can I even do that? Like I want to do that before I eventually die and lose it.
Oh, okay. Apparently, Elden Ring does have co-op.
Oh yeah. I mean that's the thing that doesn't matter anyways. It went badly. A queue checkpoint. Okay. I mean it sends me way back here.
I mean, I actually like this new super chat ticker on here. I mean, it's a good refresh, I think.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I just need to figure out how to make it so it doesn't say that's good twice.
Yeah.
I see that Chris Waters is saying you guys should stream Brave Fencer McCheskey on here. Maybe that's like what I'll do. I can do that on the Twitch channel. That seems like a good game to stream on there. I could do the whole thing like that.
So you've been thinking a lot. You've been kind of into like doing some off night streams on the Twitch channel lately.
I mean, if I can capture stuff, there's almost, unless I just feel like, you know, oh jeez, you know, unless I have just feel like zoning out.
Yeah.
I could see myself totally doing it. And one of the things is that it doesn't have, the way I have it set up, there's no like face cam, which I mean,
so you feel less pressure to like put on a show.
yeah, I really just want it to be like, hey, let's hang out and like maybe just talk about this game and play through it. Or, you know, I can do things where I can do camera feeds and like say, oh, this thing came in, let's open it up and check it out. And I just want it to feel like totally impromptu and like just no real pressure to have it be anything more than just fun.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to be fair, I don't think we feel a lot of pressure for our
true
Sunday night streams either, but like, you know, if we were doing something of this scale, you know, every night, it would probably get tiring. But doing it once a week, I mean, God, twice a week for me, since I do a very similar thing on the back laundry tomorrow, but, you know.
I should look for Maria's cat here. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be like what I would like to do. And then there's no pressure to be like, oh, I got to stream for 3 hours, like every time. And that's why it's been fun doing the hack stuff. Is because I can just, hey, let's check this out for a little bit.
And you've been able to get some, I mean, I haven't actually seen any of these streams, but like you were able to get some suggestions from people watching, like, hey, check out.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people suggesting stuff in the Discord, and there is the biggest downside really is that the things that are suggested are things that I like might not already have, because you know the resources to make my like ROM hack stuff is like hasn't been updated. So some of the stuff is like 6 months behind, and there's certain things that are pretty new, so I've had to like download the patches and like make them myself, and that's fine. But there's always a little bit of trial and error. Like you're never quite sure if it's gonna work properly. Like you're never sure if the patching is gonna behave the way it's supposed to.
Right.
And that's the thing that I like about having stuff that I've gotten from other places, because it's already been kind of confirmed that it works, or been done by somebody who knows a lot more about it. But I did find out today that a lot of this stuff, if you go to the website, CD Romance, they have a lot of the ROMs already patched. And it's mainly a big deal with like CD games. I mean, that's the main thing. Okay, so I can borrow his shield.
Look at that.
That's cool. Yeah, CD Romance has like all this stuff, so I was able to get a lot of the patches that I was worried about, like, oh, this will take a while to fix or to get, and like CD games specifically. But they already have them pre-patched, and that's been kind of nice, especially certain things that I want to show, or what I captured today was a lot of like different fan translations, and all that stuff is updated regularly. So a lot of times they just have like the brand new, like the newest versions. Like today I got some footage of like the Grandia translation on the for the Saturn, which is just the PS1 translation, but still cool anyways.
Absolutely.
And
I make no secret of loving that translation.
Yeah. And there's like several others, but there's certain things that it's like, oh, this is brand new. I didn't even know this existed. So I'm gonna put this in here just because. Like there's a fan translation that just came out for the Parodius game on the Super Famicom. And I'm like, oh, I'll just do that because it's right here. It's gonna be it's gonna be a real cram session though to get this video done in time.
Well, yeah, because we actually got a sponsorship for the video,
Right.
which we haven't done one in a while.
Yeah.
It can be on any video,
No, it can be on any video, but it has to be.
but it has
it's
it
like-
has to be released by a certain date.
Yeah, the 5th.
But I mean, you're it should be like pretty easy. I mean, I keep thinking back to how I somehow got, that M Classic and 4K Gamer Pro video done in such few days. Not necessarily because I had to, but I mean, I had to have time to get the games we played done. But like I was just really surprised how quickly it went, and it still ended up being like a 30-some minute video. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I was doing a lot of this, just gathering of material, and I'm gonna continue doing that. The problem is that it has to be done by the 5th, but what that means is that I have to essentially have it done, like mostly done, if not completely done, by Friday.
Thursday.
Yeah, like by Friday morning. And
Well, wait. Oh yeah, that's right. We're flying.
yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be real tight, but I think that
If
it's
you
just
set your mind to it, you can get it done. Just like I got that M Classic.
right, but I also have like real work stuff I need to do also,
Yeah.
which is I have like 3 like little things. I got a bunch done. Like I worked real late on Friday to get as much done as I could on work stuff, but like I have stuff I need to do. Like I have like a couple of things from the thing I did in Milwaukee. I have to have stuff for that.
Oh, I thought.
Oh,
That
it's
was long past.
Where you going? Okay, that's the ribbon key. So where can I use the ribbon key?
Oh, two pound super chat from Engine UK. Any news on the room tour?
Definitely. Like it's will happen. Like I probably will. I'm gonna try to do it like after I get back.
After. Yeah, I mean after.
I mean, I'm like in my
video.
mind, I'm saying
well.
like I'm gonna try to stick to getting a video out of some sort every 2 weeks. Like that is my goal.
That's ambitious. Don't burn yourself out too hard.
I mean, if certain things take a little bit longer, I'm okay with that. But I'm not saying I'm going to burn it out. I'm going to work within the constraints of time, the time constraints.
Yes, I mean that's the way. I mean we were talking this week, like when you got this the Ambernick video out, like we.
Oh yeah, I had a big
I mean,
thing about it.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious we've just like been struggling like the past like couple of years, like just getting things done like we used to, and we gotta have a rethink on what we do and how we do it.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's why with the Ambernick video, I was just like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm just like beyond the point where if I can't, I'm not gonna stress myself out if I can't give cover it from every single angle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like stuff like it's just like I have no problem like doing deep dives on stuff, but it's got to be something like I care about, like I want to do that.
You
know?
want to do,
Yeah. And
it
you know,
naturally comes up because you're like, oh well, this is interesting. Like,
yeah,
you know, like the
that's
save
kinda
file
the
stuff. Like,
challenge is because you know people like expect do a deep dive or something like on this, and it's like, well, this like doesn't really interest me like at all.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like have to force myself through this. It's like I don't want to do that anymore. And it's not like I really have been. It's not like I have been doing it, but like I don't want to feel like that's what I got to do. So
I mean, I you know, the expectations that whether people actually have them or not, like that we perceive that people have, like
Yes.
is crippling to the point where we struggle to get much of anything done at all.
Yes. So
Um,
that crap is over.
it's
What's going to
just-
happen now is just going to be, you know, videos are going to be as big or small as like we feel like making.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's the end
we're
of it.
going
Like,
to
that's it.
focus. I think we're going to focus more on like just like, hey, I'm doing this video because like this thought popped in my head and I want to do it. Doesn't necessarily have a lot to do with whether I think people are actually interested in it or
Yeah.
not. Like,
But of course, that's not going to change. Like, it's not going to make it so that we don't do certain things that people like want. I mean, that certainly does not mean.
well, yeah.
Like RGB stuff is like Saturn, like not Saturn, Dreamcast RGB is still happening, and it's going to happen this year for sure. Like, I mean, I know I said I'm going to make that first video I do this year, but you know, like it's just like it's all the stuff's going to happen. And I'm done feeling like I am done feeling like crap because I can't do what people want me to do. I'm just going to do what I can. And if I'm just going to feel like crap all the time about like not being able to like do this and this and this or what people are expecting, like I may as well just not do it anymore. Honestly.
I mean, it's like, I mean, and I think it's really our own.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's
Our
like,
own perception that like whenever we release a video, like sometimes we're like, oh, like I feel like I really cut corners on this one, and then no one acts like you did. So like a lot of it is just like us imagining what people
yes, exactly.
expect out of us, and we feel you know, there's just always this sense of guilt of like, oh, you know, I should be doing more or something, but like we just need to be doing what we want to do, and it's you know, it's tough, but we've, you know, I think we've made good steps towards refocusing. And oh, did you get to a new level?
Finally.
I think we've made some good steps towards like refocusing and kind of just understanding what works for us and what doesn't, and what kind of crap we just gotta let go, you know. And we, you know, I don't even know if I should necessarily mention this, or I mean, there's not much to say, but you know, you kind of had some good ideas about how to finish Analog Frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
that we talked about a little bit, and I'm still kind of feeling it out, but I'm going to spend time this week sort of figuring out how I can make that work. But we're considering sort of reframing part 4 and 5 into a singular episode. And I it's going to take some work to figure that out, but like in my head, I like how that comes together, and it probably makes more sense to the audience. I think when they, I think it will make more sense from an audience perspective.
That's what
But I still have some figuring out to do about how to make that work.
Okay, Pepe, I need you. I'm gonna need you after this. Like, I'll allow it, but I'm gonna need you to calm down. Okay? Like, this is the first time I played this, so just like ease it down.
That's good.
This is like I mean, who wants to be yelled at when they're like playing a game for the first time? Like, you're doing it wrong. So please. Or else I'll intentionally do stuff that I know will annoy you. I'll make the wrong choices.
Well, Wisteria suggests investing in health flasks.
Okay, well.
And Joshua
figure it out.
Helmke
That's good.
says, just keep in mind, you guys own this channel. Personally, I have no expectations. And that means a lot. That really does mean a lot. Like, and you know, honestly, after we've, you know, I think struggled so much to keep up the pace the past couple of years, you know, I guess most people watching this stream probably don't necessarily have much expectations, which is good. Like, I mean, it's hard when you feel like you know, like, oh, people are expecting this and that out of you, and it really becomes paralyzing. You know, just like people talk about getting paralyzed by, you know, the sheer scale of, you know, a Bethesda game or any other just like massive open-ended game. Like they have just like paralysis, and that's kind of how we feel, you know, when it comes to like the scale and size of what we think people want us to be doing, or what we feel like, oh well, if we cover this, then we have to go all in on this and that angle too, you know. We can't overlook anything. And you know, I think you did a really good job in the Ambernick video of managing expectations. Yeah. Of, you know, like, hey, this is what this is, and this is what it isn't, and this is what I'm doing with it, and this is what I'm not doing with it, and this is what you know, this is how I see it as being useful, but it doesn't replace these other things, you know?
That's good.
Oh, 199 super chat from Dingus Alert saying, I command you to play the game how you want to play it.
I mean, I'll figure it out as I go, you know? It also doesn't help that, like, I've never really played games like this.
Master Cypher says, try, I just need a bunch of likes, some fall fantasy, and Sandy shots, and I'm a happy kid. Fall fantasy. Like, if you've seen any of the comments on like the Final Fantasy 13 video I did with John, like I don't usually think about, but the words Final Fantasy, unless I'm like really intentional about it, often just slip out of my mouth as fall fancy, or some permutation of something like that. Fall fantasy. Well, I pushed my B button, but it wouldn't do. Just like Insomniac.
What's that?
Oh, and there was 2 pounds from
Machete and
JL.
pistol. Sound
Got another person
That's
in UK
cool.
staying up late tonight. Saying MLiG's final verdict on Tilu season 1.
Oh, Tilu. Yeah, yeah.
I've not seen it, but I assume you've seen the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I will express the sentiment that I've heard several people say, is that I think that it's at its best when it's doing things, when it's expanding on certain aspects of things from the game that that's new.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it probably could have had one more episode. It could have stood to have one more episode. I feel like they it felt rushed by the end, and I mean I'm not even saying like the end needed an extra episode. I think that the stuff with David could have had an extra episode.
Is David the guy that's
The creepy guy, and they're like
the creepy guy
they're
when
eating the
when Joel is unconscious
right.
or sick or whatever.
I mean, I think that a lot of the stuff that they did expand on, or the things that they combined, were very smartly done. I do think the episode 3 was probably the best episode. Also,
I mean, I'm more interested in getting around to playing the PS5 version than watching the show, but I'll probably watch the show someday. I'm pretty slow to get around to things like that sometimes.
I mean, I just felt like, oh, what? So once I find the blueprints, then I can use cells to unlock those. Do they just does that just make them appear then?
That's good.
Oh, there was no comment, but a random $5 super chat from Mega X6. Thank you. So it looks like you've decided to go back to the main game area.
Well, I didn't decide to. I just ran out of lives in the other one.
Oh, I see.
I don't know what the is that number of lives that I have? I mean, Shinoa is still showing up there.
I mean, is Castlevania like a separate mode, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm back in the
or
Castlevania stuff.
or is it just like an area that you can access?
I thought it was just an area that I could access, but maybe it's not.
Oh.
Okay, the skull is damage modifier. It only lasts for a certain amount of time.
gaining more.
But geez, like that thing just hit me and brought like got rid of all my life, but it looks like I gained a bunch back then.
Huh. Oh, it looks like is there like it looks like there was like health that you could recover if you did it quickly.
Right.
Like it was orange or yellow. Or
yeah.
and then it looked like I can't. What have I played that had that mechanic? Like if you lose health and then attack enemies quickly enough within a certain amount of time, like you can regain a certain amount of health.
Maybe I don't know.
Think of what it was.
But you know, this is definitely one of those games that, you know, like I'm getting hit with a bunch of information and I'll figure it out over time, but I'll also like research it like afterwards and figure out like, oh, so what are like, that's what I did with Returnal. Like, you know, there's a bunch of stuff that I ended up reading about after, you know, or as I had like kind of gotten back into it. It's like, oh, what are some good tactics?
Legendary K4 dropped a $2 super chat. Just saying, work in the morning. Have a good night, everyone. All right, you have a good night too for that work in the morning.
Can I go back to the? I can't.
Fighting games have that mechanic. Which I don't know which ones. I don't. I'm not a fighting game guy. You know, I was. Me and John were talking today, and you know, like back in the '90s, there were new fighting game series all the time, and now it's just like, you know, you get
It's all the survivors, really.
yeah, it's the survivors, you know, new Tekken, new Street Fighter, you know, whatever, and they come about so infrequently. And
Well,
like,
yeah, but I mean that's like it just takes a lot. But to be fair, I mean there is like there's new series all the time, but like the survivors of those series, you know, are what's coming out now. And I mean, just because there are so many of them doesn't mean that like they're good. You know what I mean?
But like, are there new fighting series? I don't think so, because I mean, me and John were talking.
I mean, there's Skullgirls. Like,
That's why I was. But that's like a decade old. Like that was. I was saying like that's the last time I can think of there being like a new.
Well, consider think of it this way, okay? I mean, just like the same way, it was just like what was popular at the time. You know, like there was, like there's new first-person shooters coming out all the time now.
Well, I know, but I guess what I'm just saying
just like
is,
the same-
I'm just saying it's strange to think about how, like, I don't think fighting games are unpopular, but like it just dawned on me when John and I were talking today, like, wow, it's like. Like, I don't know. It's just like how infrequent they are compared to how they used to be. I hadn't thought about it before. Is all I'm saying. I hadn't thought about it. And I was like, can you think of anything newer than Skullgirls? It's like a new fighting game that's like not based on some other property, like, you know, manga or anime or something.
I don't know. It feels like the cycle to me.
There's this fighting game where you play as cows designed by, I guess, the character artist from like My Little Pony, and it's called Them's Fighting Herds. That gave me a good laugh. That's a good name. He said that it was a, because I saw it, I'm like, oh wow, they don't hide their influence here. And he said that it actually apparently was going to be a My Little Pony fighting game, and the license didn't work out. But then the actual artist like made new characters for the game. It looks kind of weird, but I do love the name. Them's Fighting Herds. Yeah, there's like the WB Multiverses thing, Nickelodeon, All-Star Brawl, but like those are based on things. I'm talking like you know, your Tekkens and your Street Fighters and your Soul Calibers, like your all the SNK stuff. Like those were conceived of as fighting games. And you know, those other things are based on something. Like Skullgirls is like one of the last few that I can think of that's like, this is made for.
I love that they refer to Santa Claus as a reverse burglar.
Illegally enters people's home to leave random objects there. Reverse burglar. You know, it works. Them's Fighting Herds 2, Satan's Counterattack. But yeah, I mean, I imagine it's probably like, it's so hard, I think, to iterate on the fighting game concepts as they are now, and like they're put to such scrutiny by the community, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like every bit of balance, like it's and you know, and then in the end, people just get hung up on the older games anyway. I mean, not that I know that much about fighting game community or anything like that, but like I imagine it's tough at this point to bring new ideas to the table to a fan base that probably isn't super receptive to change. I would assume.
Yeah.
I'm not
it's not even so much that. It's just that, you know, it's tough to make a cast of characters that are going to resonate and endure.
Yeah. Yeah, but it just, you know, it just seems to be the same old series, and they come up pretty infrequently now. There was a $5 super chat from Carl. Oh, let's just say Carl. I'm not going to attempt to figure out the last name. I apologize. Saying retiring my CRT and making the switch to retro gaming on a flat screen. A little scary, but just got my RetroTink 5X. Your video was a big help. Well, thank you. I mean, you know, they're you know, especially if you're like talking like an OLED or something, like, you know, there can even be advantages to playing that way. Like, you know, man, OLED with black frame insertion with, you know, a good CRT filter through RetroTink 5X or Mister, or you know, I guess even you know, like I don't have as much experience with like the RetroArt shaders and stuff, but like you know, that can be pretty darn close to a CRT experience, and you've got even deeper black levels and, you know, more punchy colors. So, and of course, a bigger picture. You know, we were, well, what was that? I think it was 2 weeks ago on the Backloggery stream. Drum and Lynn both came over and we played all the way through Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I remember how you commented last week, you saw the VGA CRT to the left of my OLED. Yeah. Well, you know, since there were three of us, you know, I sat off over to the side where that VGA CRT was, or is. And I was like, oh, I'll play looking at the VGA monitor because why not? And I turned it on, and like we were like on the second level, and I just realized all of a sudden like I'm not even looking at the VGA. Like I was just looking at the OLED like they were, because I mean it's bigger, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like my eye was just drawn to it. Like, even though I intended to myself be looking at the VGA monitor, like I just didn't. So, yeah.
Fresh meat.
That was for Sasquatch and Time following our Twitch, apparently.
Yes.
So what is, I mean, you've probably already moved on, but what is that thing that's 2150? It looks like a demonic drone.
Yeah, it's like a fire spinning blades at nearby enemies. Looks bleeding. It looks like it's, I think it's a like a turret type thing.
Dog Sports asking, who's the go-to repair shop for a cap refresh these days? My Sony PVM needs one. You know, Steve from Retrotech is, I mean, it depends on where you are. He's in Virginia. You know, he takes on that work. I know like Jose Cruz, if you're like near New York City. I don't know if I actually don't know like how you contact him to do repairs. Those are the couple of the people I'm aware of. Do you know anyone else?
No.
Yeah. There's not that many.
So when I dump some cells into something like that and it becomes available, does that make it so that it will permanently show up? It can show up during the runs?
Oh, that's not a question.
It's just a general question.
You would think that there'd be someone in California. I mean, I know that there's
Yeah, Savon Pat.
Savon Pat, but I don't know. Like, does he still take on jobs?
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't recommend. I mean, shipping CRTs is
okay. So once when you unlock that, it becomes it's in
super
the game's
advised.
rotations. That's great. So that's similar to Returnal. Like when you like, if you were to like, once you like acquire a new weapon or something like that. And it's like I like it. It's like a heavy attack.
Oh yeah, the Sonic Origins Plus was announced, so you can have small physical proof that you
Yeah.
took the most minor of roles in a Sonic game.
Yeah. I'm definitely I'm gonna probably get the PS5 version and the Switch version, just because I like having.
I'll probably just get the Switch version because the controller options seem more fitting for it. I mean, unless like it'll be interesting to see if they do anything about like the scaling filters.
Yeah.
Because I saw some note like they had taken into account. Oh, look at that! Well, it was actually turkey, but close enough. Close enough. Yeah, I would say do it yourself. CRT repairs are, you know. I mean, hey, go to Retrotech's YouTube channel, and you know he does kind of have a lot of information about the different models and stuff, in such a way to where someone who is already, I would say, inclined to, be working on, soldering boards and stuff like that. If that's not you, which it's certainly not me.
What? Oh, great.
Then CRTs certainly aren't where you should be starting. Oh, you have outraged the gods.
I know. It's like a parasite or something like that, or a malfunction. And I gotta, one hit will kill me. So I have to get rid of 10.
How can you remove it?
I gotta kill 10 enemies.
Whew. All right, gotta be careful.
Yeah.
We both, I think, had very different approaches to Returnal.
It doesn't even matter. I couldn't even. I got spiked
because it took you a lot of runs, but you also beat the game in like a week or two. Like, I think you took each run like pretty quickly, and you turned on like the always dash feature and stuff like that. And I was much more like slow and methodical, and it took me fewer runs, but I probably spent more time per run because I wasn't rushing as much. But
yes, I mean, I would.
I'm not saying like one approach is better than the other. I'm just saying I think it's interesting that like those varied approaches are possible.
Yeah.
I think it was last week someone was asking, or a week or two ago, someone was asking for some Returnal tips. I mentioned how like in the first half of the game, I was very into like the risk reward stuff, and I would be like, I would take a very cavalier approach to malfunctions.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like, I was like, let's see what happens. And I was really struggling to make headway in the second half, especially the fifth fight. And the big thing that changed it was like I took a pretty strict no malfunctions policy.
Yeah. Well, there were certain ones that I did, or like no malfunctions, like no, but parasites were okay.
Well, yeah, parasites are okay, of course. And also malfunctions are okay if you get a parasite that like either instantly prevents or heals a malfunction.
Yeah.
Like if so, then I'd be like, oh, okay, well then where's like a treasure chest that I want to take a chance on,
Right.
And then I would I'd grab that parasite and see what happens. But like before, like I was like, well, as long as you don't get a critical malfunction, which makes you like lose an entire random relic. Like, they're not that bad. But yeah, it definitely. I felt like in the second half of the game, it was a lot harder to cope with malfunctions.
For sure. I mean, I do feel pretty invested in this, though. I think that I'm going to continue playing it. But it feels like something I maybe just do like a run a day type thing.
Yeah. Wow, Hattori Hanzo II said, I beat Returnal on my 3rd run and completely finished everything a few days ago. Got all the achievements. Wow. You must be extremely careful. That's impressive. I mean, once I got into the groove in the second half of the game, I didn't really die anymore either. Like it ended up being possible for me to get into a good situation relatively easy. But doing it on a 3rd run too, like you've just got access to such fewer items and relics that could appear during your run.
Right.
So that's very impressive.
So, are those like the doors unlocked? Is that the amount of time that you played? Like so if you reach it under the amount of time on it, then it unlocks. Like my time is at 6 minutes 38 seconds for this run. So and that is 8 minutes. So if I reach this area in that amount of time, then it shows up.
What are those big round gates that light up when you pass them?
Those are teleport.
Okay. Sometimes they seem really close together, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably just all random, though.
Yeah. Would you say that the level design in this feels more random than, say, Returnal? Because, like, Returnal was very much constructed around pre-made areas that were connected together in random ways.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and had
similar
random items in them, but there was also a lot of familiarity to it, which I liked. I liked that aspect. I think having the resinous shield is basically invincibility. Which artifact was that? Resinous shield. I really liked the one where you recover a small percentage of health based on your adrenaline level, because you could, like, as long as you had adrenaline level 1, even then you could get back to 100% health pretty quickly. $5 super chat from James Boone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, what's a dead game series or one-off game you'd like to see a sequel to? For me, it's Ridge Racer. The Vita version was so disappointing. Wow, I forgot there even was. There was a Vita Ridge Racer?
Vita was considered pretty good. I remember playing it, I think a couple of years ago, and thought it looked like surprisingly good, and it's expensive now, and I wish that I had bought it.
Really? I have zero recollection of this existing. I'm looking.
It was a launch game.
In some ways, I'm a little surprised I didn't get that. I mean, I've never like got deep in on Ridge Racer, but I've always liked what I've played, but I've always had a hard time. Drifting has never clicked with me in any of the Ridge Racer games that came before PSP. It's just never quite clicked. I like what I've seen of those games. I need to figure them out a little better. Oh, got a bad rep because of the DLC paywalls. Oh, that's starting to sound familiar. Like, wasn't like a huge part of the game blocked out if you didn't. Like you had to like buy parts of the game, basically. It's starting to come back to me. The originators include very little content, and they sold a ton of DLC. Okay, yeah, that's sounding familiar. That's probably why it got pushed back to the back of my memory.
Was that the last game in the series?
Yeah. I guess maybe so. I mean, but that was the question. What's a dead series? The VIA version was just well. At first, I thought you meant what's a dead game series, like a series that has the word "dead" in it that we'd like to see. A sequel. Let's see. What's a dead series I'd like to see a sequel to?
A dead series that Contra. I mean, does Contra count?
I mean, Rogue Core came out not that many years ago. I mean, regardless of what you may think of it, it's it is. I'd say that's recent enough to not call it dead. Well, what about Chrono?
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger.
How about F-Zero?
Yeah. I mean, that's almost too obvious.
Yeah.
F-Zero, Chrono Trigger.
I mean, I don't know if I would want a new Chrono game, honestly. Like, I don't know if I don't feel like it would be. It would be done in a way that would justify it.
I mean, they would have to give it basically the budget of a Final Fantasy game, which they want. Because that's what it was. I mean, it was. I mean, I don't. Not that I know what the budget of the original game was, but the impression was that here was a game that was treated with every bit of care as Square Enix's other biggest games, if not more so. Like it, it was just a supremely polished game, right?
I'm feeling really powerful right now in this. It's kind of a cool.
Well, don't jinx yourself.
I know, but it's like.
But I mean, I feel like I would like to see another Chrono game because, like, it seemed like it could and should become a series, and as even though I like Chrono Cross,
I thought that would go someplace, but it's not.
Like it's not even close to the original. Like just not even close. So like I would like to see it. I'd like to see them try. Like I do like Chrono Cross. A lot of people don't like Chrono Cross, but it also doesn't feel like the right place to just leave it,
Yeah.
I feel like I would like to see I would like to see them leave it somewhere else, Anything else? I mean, is Castlevania dead?
I mean, basically, yeah. The classic series.
Yeah, I mean, even the Metroidvania series. Like, when's the last time we got a real Castlevania? Like, when we've got this DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, Wave Race. Yes. I mean, I'd love to just see a new game that has interesting wave physics.
Yeah.
Wow, Hades Hot Gun says Chrono Cross is actually the highest reviewed Square game ever, tied with Final Fantasy IX. That's so interesting. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I almost wonder if that was like caused by like, you know, reviewers at that time just being in this headspace of, these, you know, this game is, you know, it's got to be big, and you know, they treated it as such.
Yeah.
Because Chrono Cross was highly divisive when it came out. Like I feel like at the time I felt kind of like an apologist for it. Like I felt like I was defending it, and most people I talked to were disappointed or just outright didn't like it.
So if I put those cells into the ice bow, do I maintain that even if I die? As long as if I get a blueprint and I can turn them in, then they stay, and they become, if I turn them into the collector, then they will stay as something I can unlock. I hope that's the case, at least.
Chris Waters says one of the reasons Chrono Cross was viewed as a bit of a disappointment is because while Chrono Trigger was a step up in a lot of ways from FF6, Chrono Cross was less impressive than FF7. I disagree. I mean, the quality of the FMV and the artistry of the backgrounds and character models in Chrono Cross are very impressive, and it has excellent animations for the system.
Ooh, so we got a boss here.
On a technical and visual level, I think Chrono Cross is hard to follow. I mean, it has maybe some frame rate issues in many places, but I mean, it's an RPG and it's on PS1. What do you expect? Wow, yeah, boss. I think the reason people were disappointed with Chrono Cross is because it's a smaller scope story. And the way that they treat the very token references to the original characters is you know, I won't say what happens to spoil anyone, but I don't think people like how the original game is titled. But that's all I'll say. I do like the plot on its own merits. I like some of the twists. It's got some good stuff going for it, but the tie-ins to Chrono Trigger itself are not good. I'll acknowledge that. But on the whole, I like the game.
This thing. I got a room.
JT Hartman says, I'd only want a new F-Zero if it was developed in-house. Well, why is that? Because, I mean, F-Zero GX was developed by Sega, and it was amazing. And, you know, Nintendo has had a lot of success on occasion. I mean, I guess, like, it depends on whether you consider Retro Studios in-house, but I mean, look what they did for Metroid.
Go back and... No, I'm gonna go back. So is that the first boss that I just beat?
Will that remain beaten?
Yeah, I got a rune.
Nice. Yeah, Shinen, however you say them, would be amazing for us. They're extremely talented, and Fast RMX is a pretty decent consolation prize for. I was quite surprised by that game. Can we consider Half-Life dead? Yeah, we may as well. I would like a Half-Life 3.
You keep on like freezing up. I don't know if it's me or if it's you or what. It's like
I don't know. The stream has seemed fine. I've not seen any gaps in the stream. But I did just now see my video freeze.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess Half-Life Alex keeps it alive, but I mean, the never-ending joke of Half-Life 3 is like so firmly ingrained into just our culture at this point that it's even if Half-Life 3 actually comes out, I think Half-Life will still be a dead franchise. That's the situation at this point.
Best thing says permanently increases the drop rate of high quality items.
Scepter Sever, Corey's playing on the Steam Deck, believe it or not. It's our first Steam Deck stream. So it's a lot easier for you to get full, good quality, full frame output from it than it was when you.
Yeah.
initially
Now
got
you
it.
can set
were
the
kinda
you can set
frustrated.
the dock to just like output whatever you want, and it even has like an option for 4K 60. But I don't know if the dock can like handle that or what. I don't know if that changes things. But I just stick with 1080p because I feel like that's just it's fine.
Yeah, that feels like the fair target for it.
Yeah. So I just put
Does it get hot while it's docked?
I don't know. I haven't touched it while I've played it this much while it's been docked. So I mean I can feel it right now. I do got to use the bathroom, so I just gotta.
So do you keep it with your other consoles?
Yeah, it's next to my my Xbox Series X.
Okay.
It's a little warm, but it's not bad. I'll be right back.
You look like you just woke up from a long sleep, Sandy. Sandy, come look over here. I think she's been asleep since she was on the stream at the very beginning. Because she's just kind of walking out of one of the rooms over there, just kind of like, oh, whoa. Come say hi, Sandy. Sandy, come say hi. Oh. What's she doing? Oh. Who's that? Is that Sandy up there? Oh. You don't feel like doing much right now. You don't feel like doing much. Oh yeah, new mail site. Well, there is that Metal Slug Tactics game or whatever. I forget what that's called. But that looks pretty awesome. Sandy is like 26-ish pounds, which is a bit heavy for the breed, but like I don't feed her as much like on the food bags. Like she'd be
Fresh meat.
way too heavy if I actually fed her what it says, like to feed a dog of her size on the food bags. Don't feed her that much. So she's just, I think it's just her frame. Just how she is.
Oh no. You see that that $20 chat donation just came in from Daniel Lippian.
Okay, let me read it. Nintendo shops closed tomorrow, and the Internet Archive just lost its lawsuit, making it likely video game ROMs won't be accessible anymore. Nintendo obviously doesn't care. How can we preserve gaming history against these odds? Where do we go from here? Have you heard about this? I didn't know that they had a lawsuit.
I didn't either.
That's not good to hear. I mean,
what is there to say, really?
yeah, I mean, people will have their way to get their ROMs.
But the archive.net, you know, the Internet Archive, like, is one of those ones that, you know, like, it feels like reliable because it never felt like it would go away. But that's like,
no, but people always were concerned. Internet Archive is appealing the lawsuit. If I recall, it was just the book companies suing them. Oh, so did that not have anything to do with video games specifically? But yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I don't even know what you said. But you know what? I intend to do some research into it because that is kind of, I mean, I don't know, since I need to do research, I can't really say exactly how I will get into it. But that was kind of part of where I wanted to go with Analog Frontiers Part 5, which as I was saying earlier in the stream, we're looking at how we can possibly combine the themes that we want to explore in parts 4 and 5 into just a singular part 4.
yeah.
And that would be the new end. Which I think would be good because we need to move on with our lives. But like I was saying before too, I think the narrative arc will make more sense to the audience as well.
Yeah.
You know, the 4 and 5 arc always made sense in my head, but I was admittedly always afraid that, and I think that fear is a big part of why it's taken so long. I was afraid that what I wanted to do with 4 and 5 separately wouldn't make sense to the audience. And so we're kind of in the early phases of figuring out how we can combine them. I mean, you know, there's quite a bit of part 4 done. So, you know, that would be integrated, of course, into a new part 5. But that is something I want to do some research on and learn a bit about, and find a way to integrate at least some information on you know, hey, if someone wants to, you know, contribute to the cause of preservation, or if they have an idea of something that they want to create, you know, for classic gaming, you know, what can be some of the steps toward that? Something I want to explore. There's a super chat from Madonna Sheehy, but but Sandy's being fussy right now. So you read that, and I'm going to take Sandy out.
Thank you. Saying, Coury, you have a weapon equipped that gives you damage at ×2. That's the skull above your head. Check your info
That's good.
on your weapons to see what your curse is. Biters crawl from the dead? Or no? How do I know? Where would I find my curse here? Yeah, I don't want to change. I don't want to change that. I don't want to change the weapon. It seems pretty good. But I don't know what biters crawl from the dead means. You see that, Neil? It says 100% of the damage inflicted is the damage you take too. Just don't get hit. Okay. I mean, that's why my life goes down, I guess. I mean, it's risk reward, right? I mean, it feels like a... Everything must go. What do you need? I mean, maybe I'll... No, I want to... 720, I should switch that. I don't know. I'm going to stick with it for a little... I'll probably regret it, but whatever. Since everyone stuff like that happens. It is pretty strong. What is the Undying Shrine? Do I not want to go in there? I just want to get to a checkpoint. So I want to cash in my stuff. Glass cannon?
What?
So the weapon I have is really super powerful, but it makes me take like 100% of the damage when I get hit. That's why like why I'm taking so much damage. But it's
Have,
also
have you never heard that term before?
glass cannon. No, not
Yeah.
really.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a pretty common term to describe like a video game character that's very powerful but has very low defense or very little health.
No.
Like, you know, just that'd be in any game that has like, you know, like multiple characters to choose from. You know, whoever's super strong but low defense, you know.
Do I want to do this? Like reforge the modifiers on it? 60%,
Also never
okay.
heard of it.
Well, I mean that didn't.
Or Mr. Do. I've heard that term lots of times.
Yeah, I've never heard it before.
I mean, Hattori Hanzo says it's common in Diablo. Lord X Mugen says it's a generic RPG term. Stefan says maybe you hear it more in MMOs.
Yeah, that would make it. I'm all good now.
I wonder if anyone has ever made a actual glass cannon. I'm going to look this up. Actual glass cannon.
No, it would like destroy it, right? With one shot.
I mean, that's
the idea, right?
That would be the idea, I would think.
How many
well,
levels
here-
are in this? Am I decently far?
Oh, come on.
What?
This is lame. Someone's just made like some kind of launcher for like a literal like glass mug to like launch the glass mug. That's not a glass cannon. It's like something for like shooting marbles out of a tiny glass cannon. I want to see like a full-sized, like actual battlefield glass cannon. I want to see what'll happen.
That seems like a tall order for something that you know is going to get destroyed immediately. But also, like, just because it's like, it doesn't sound like something that would exist in the real world, because like why would being glass like make it a more powerful than like a normal cannon? It wouldn't.
Well, no, it wouldn't. But like, I think the term glass cannon just means you are a cannon, but you happen to be made out of glass, and so you're strong because you're a cannon.
Right.
But you're very
I mean, cannons are just as strong. Like, there's no way that a real glass cannon would be stronger than a real cannon.
Right, there wouldn't be a reason to make it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just saying I would like to see someone try, and I want to see what would happen.
I mean, that sounds like
No,
dude,
Mr.
that sounds
Dude,
like
that-
so much effort for something that is definitely like not going to be good.
But what is YouTube for if to not expend effort on things that are definitely not going? People have done a lot of things on YouTube that are purely in the name of I'm just doing this because. Yeah, exactly. That's something Mythbusters would do. Mythbusters would make a glass cannon. Absolutely. Like, they expended a lot of effort on things that just don't matter or make any sense. But that's what's fun about it.
How do I open those doors?
In real life, glass cannon is too real to be real.
So I'm probably gonna do more stuff on the Twitch tomorrow. I'm just gonna like do most of the stuff, recording of stuff like on the Twitch channel.
Yeah.
Might as well just like build it up, right?
What is the Twitch channel? My Life in Gaming.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure it wasn't one of those weird situations where it ended up being like My Life in Video Games or something.
No.
Like our email address.
Yeah, use those turrets more.
Is this Castlevania or not?
No, I haven't been Castlevania in a while.
Okay, I didn't think it was, but I saw the background and I was like, oh, that could be Castlevania.
Fresh meat.
There you go. Every time you mention that Twitch channel, you get some fresh meat.
Just as long as people don't have like high expectations for what's going to be on there, but it's what's this?
Yeah, it's not going to be like this. I mean, what you're talking about doing
Although,
is
you know, like
you're
the way I have it
literally
set up,
capturing.
I can
footage
absolutely
from-
have people like hang out with me. Like I can have other people like on Discord or whatever like hang out with me. With zero affecting like the workflow.
I mean, Mega X6, there's been a Twitch channel for years and years and years and years, and we occasionally used it for just casual streams, but it's not been a common pursuit lately.
Yeah.
But you know, I guess we're kind of thinking of maybe reviving it a bit. But
I mean, if just to do fun,
Fresh meat.
like things that we can kind of do at any time. I think that's.
I mean, you know, and of course, you know, we intend for our Sunday night stuff to.
Yeah, nothing's changing.
Here, nothing changes here. This is our
come
long-standing tradition.
Fresh meat.
Well, there's no face cam. Although I can switch over and do face cam if I
I mean,
want
you
to.
could, but
Yes, but I mean, it's,
I like your idea of like not having that on makes it feel lower pressure.
yeah. I mean, I can if I need to like show something, I can easily switch it and just like make the camera that I'm using right now. I can make that full screen. It's like no problem at all. So it's almost 11, but I'm like back here. I just got sent back to the start.
Fresh meat.
I just got wondering if I should boot something else up that's on the Steam Deck here, like the Streets of Camarocho. You know, I'm gonna play
Did you get-
Ex-Zodiac. Have you seen that before?
What?
Ex-Zodiac. Is that okay if I play something else?
Yeah, sure, but I don't know what it.
Ex-Zodiac is the
is.
a lot of people like recommended it. Like, oh, it's for if you like Star Fox. It's kind of like the spiritual successor to Star Fox.
Oh, okay. I may have heard of this.
And it's still like in early access, and they add like new levels like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's awesome.
Fresh meat.
Lots of fresh meat tonight.
Do you like the Steam Deck interface in general well enough?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really seen much of it.
Oh,
before.
when you see this, you're gonna be like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Okay, I've seen this before, and I forgot the name, and yeah, this looks amazing. And I love that they've got like the low res alias look as well.
Yeah.
but it's like high frame rate though. Yeah, this. Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, this looks incredible.
Yeah.
Have you played much?
I've played like 3 levels, I think, but I haven't played.
Oh yeah, look at these dither shadows too.
I mean, it's like Star Fox, but it has like outside of ship levels. Apparently, they just added a new level that has all range mode, all range modes section on it.
I hope it comes to consoles and gets a physical.
I mean, eventually. I mean, it's been in early access for a while.
So you can't beat the game.
I don't know.
What I mean, how did you get access?
Fresh meat.
Oh, I mean, you can buy it. It's like $5.
Oh, I mean, I don't know that much about early access. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't really either. But the only reason I got it is because, like, oh, if I can play it on the Steam Deck. After I play this,
I mean, the you know the one fault here is I just think you know, Ex-Zodiac kind of rings the same bell of Steel Assault, where it's just like, your game is really cool, but I'm not going to remember the name. You know?
Yeah.
Like, because I did see something about this before, and I was like, okay, that's amazing. But the name did not make an impression. Henry Clark's asking if you can lock on like Star Fox 64.
Yep.
I think I've seen you doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a perfect blend of Star Fox 1 and 64.
Yeah.
Like they're taking the best parts of both.
It's got good music too. I'm wondering, are people seeing this and be like, oh my god, I need to go buy this right now? Is there anybody feeling that way about it?
I mean, if I had a Steam Deck, I would. But I don't. I mean, of course, I could just, you know, use regular Steam, but I feel like I would be more compelled to use Steam if I had a Steam Deck, but I also don't feel super compelled to get a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I could see myself maybe getting a Steam Deck, like,
I mean, the only reason
when they do like the
this.
next, like, if they do like a major, like, Model 2, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just to get something a little more up to date, I guess. Not that I would be likely to be playing anything on it that would be high powered anyway. I mean, you know, stuff like this, I think there's so many games you can play on Steam, and not just old games, but new and upcoming games like this as well, that, like, are not going to be, you know, intense things. And I think so much of the focus on Steam Deck, I think, is on, you know, oh, you know, how well can it do with these high-powered games. But then you see this and you're reminded, like, oh, like, there are and always will be Steam games that will play just fine on the Steam Deck, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the real high-powered stuff, like, a lot of times I just take a lot of, like, tweaking and stuff to get the best out of it, and that's why, like, I would rather just put it into my console and, like, know that I could have an experience that's, like, generally pretty good without any fuss.
Right. Like, and you know what? If it's got problems, then that's just the way it is, and you just accept it and move on.
Yeah.
Right. do you have any games on Steam that are they're like I don't know that much about how it runs games from like, you know,
I can show you
I've got you know, like at the tail end of the PS3 generation, I bought a lot of games on Steam instead of instead of PS3, because, you know, PS3 was really struggling at that point. So I bought like Tomb Raider. Well, actually, I didn't buy them. I mean, it wasn't anything special. Some AMD GPU just to get a little boost before Realm Reborn came out. There's Limbo. Need to play that.
Yeah. I mean, I can play like Alan Wake. Like some of these, I install all the games that I've just like had on Steam.
Do you have room for all of the games you have on Steam?
I mean, so I guess I have 202 games on Steam, but that includes like, you know, like Back to the Future, the game. Each chapter is considered a separate game. Like, I have all the games installed that are considered to like be good. Mm-hmm. They have like the green check, but also like a couple of the yellow check. But then there's some that
Commander Rearm
doesn't work. You got to like do a whole other thing to install it.
Oh, but you do have it installed?
I don't have it installed.
Well, like, you know, like when I got that GPU in like 2012 or 2013 or whatever, like it actually came with. Oh, not you're right, Mr. Dude. It's not Limbo I need to play. It's Inside I need to play.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. I think it would be fun to play, like, you know, the types of games that came out like at the end of the PS3 era, but like, you know, and high, you know, probably a slightly higher res than 60 frames per second on this if it could, you know, handle something like Tomb Raider. Oh, you do have Tomb Raider there.
But I think, Ex-Zodiac.
I think you're just jumping back into this because
yeah.
I mean, so wait, were you just suspended?
Yeah.
If you loaded another game, would you be able to jump back in like this? Or
no.
Oh, or you're doing the Star Fox 64 thing here?
Yeah. Or you
flying
mean
under
the first Star Fox one. Look. Wait,
Star Fox 1 doesn't have flying under the arches, does it?
Yeah, at the very beginning of the game.
Oh.
Slippy says, look. And that's how you get the twin blaster right away.
Yeah.
I mean, the music in this game is great. I don't know if I have it sending through to you. Hang on, let's see if I have it. I don't have
But like, can you do like a thing like you can on like Xbox Series X where like you can suspend like a game and jump between multiple games and like still come back to where it was suspended, or
no?
I mean, I was just curious.
Yeah,
I mean, because honestly I don't even use that feature. I like it.
I mean, if you use it, like, it's just like kind of an accident. It's like, oh.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times. It's like, oh, I didn't know I had suspended this game. And then there's always this thought in the back of my head that's like, well, maybe it's not. What if it's not working right? Maybe I should reboot.
Really?
I just get paranoid about that stuff. Like, well, because I mean, I think when it launched, there were a lot of reports that like suspend mode wasn't working very well in certain games, and I think PS5 had a lot of trouble with sleep mode at first. I think it was mostly an issue with PS4 games, though. I don't fully know if it's been fixed. But like, I almost always put the system to sleep anyway. Does the Steam Deck itself have digital or analog?
It's analog, I believe. Like the triggers are, yeah.
I mean, I kind of prefer digital, but I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
Steam Deck to have analog. I mean, because you know they want to accommodate like racing and stuff like that.
Well, they want to accommodate like all kinds of games, really.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you can adjust it or something like that. You can make it so that they. You know that Steam controller, you say that, but it's like kind of expensive now if you try to go on and get it. If you try and go on like eBay or something. It's
Really?
kinda
Because
sought after.
they were selling those for like $10.
I mean, that's
a
where I
year.
got it, and I still have it. I've used it with that. Like I would play like RTS games and stuff if I was gonna play it with a controller or something like that. Like I would totally use that.
I mean, I've barely used it. I've used it.
But it's expensive now.
That's crazy. The people who want to buy it now should have been paying attention. Like I think it literally was like $10. Like,
Yeah.
or maybe not even. I don't know. It was dirt cheap. Have you tried the demo for what was it called?
I haven't tried any demos.
Have you tried? I played this when you were away one time and Dave was on. He told me to download this.
Oh, you talking about like that? Yeah. No, I haven't played any.
Victory Heat Rally.
No, I haven't played demos. I almost never play demos.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I think you'd like it.
Well, it looks a lot like that Slipstream. Whoa.
Kind of. It's more cartoony. Like the character design, like kind of makes me think of like a PS1 game.
Is that on Steam?
Yeah, I mean that I don't.
Victory Rally.
I think it's coming to consoles, but I don't think it's out on. I mean, but like you could download the demo for that, and probably wouldn't take very long. Oh, it's actually a Friends of Platonic game. I assume they're helping it come to consoles. Like it's got this really interesting aesthetic that's like kind of like halfway between like PS1 and GBA.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it when you were playing it. Just like the game, like the way that it plays, it seemed a lot like Slipstream.
Mm. Yeah, this game looks amazing. Definitely hope for a console physical.
Whenever it gets done.
Yeah. Yeah, like the whole concept of open access or early access is pretty foreign to me. That's not something I follow or engage in really.
I feel like people are seeing this and like, I'm gonna buy this. It makes me think of that. There's a scene in the movie High Fidelity. They work at a record store, and he says, "I will now sell 3 copies of this one record," and he like puts it on, and he just kind of looks around and he watches as people kind of get into it, and some people are like, "Oh, what is this?" And then sells them immediately.
3 copies,
3 copies of like the record he put on.
but no more, no less.
I mean, that's just like what he said. He just says, "I will now sell 3 copies of this record." Here we go. We got some space area now.
Saying, I have 2 Stadia controllers. I wonder if those will be valuable someday. Oh yeah, look at this.
Yep.
Is it functionally much different from the
It's
chip levels?
definitely a lot faster. For sure.
I mean, I guess it's going for the Sega style versus the Nintendo style, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, this looks incredible.
I wonder if the developers are on Twitter. If anyone knows if they're on Twitter, say. But, we're big fans. Hopefully.
And
Help
please
them
bring
sell
your game to console physically.
Look at how creepy that is. The boss. That face on that.
Wait to see. Oh, that looks like some Sega crap for sure.
Yeah.
What? This just looks like some weird random Sega thing. They should have a boss from Attack Animal Gakuen in here.
Yeah.
Like the gangster koala or whatever it was.
Yeah, someone shared that they like remastered that song, the Parachute Limit.
Oh, well, that was Attack Animal Gakuen.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
I know.
talking Cosmic Epsilon.
Oh,
yeah, well, I
okay.
saw that and I clicked it, and it didn't sound any different to me. Like, I don't think it was like a re-recording or anything. It must have just been like a new, higher quality, like, master that was uploaded, I guess.
Abe's Games and Skate says, I gotta say, this developer had big ideas. Mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is like exactly what I would want from Star Fox. And that I was talking about this yesterday on the Twitch channel when I was recording some stuff from Star Fox, like the fast ROMs, which are like the expansion of like the SA1 hacks, like whatever. It makes Star Fox run at like a much faster frame rate on the Super NES.
Yeah.
And it's like they always try to do like something different. I just like, why can't sequels to like rail shooters like just like also be rail shooters? Like they always got to make it like free roaming. I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen. I mean, like
the appeal of a rail shooter is that it's so straightforward.
Yeah, but then it's like,
Literally.
oh, we're gonna do a second one. It's like it's gonna be off the rails, and you can go anywhere you want. Like, because I was just talking, I think during that I was saying like I don't think that Star Fox 2 is very good. I just didn't really like it. Like it's neat that it got re-released, but I just don't think that it's particularly like very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of perspective seems to suggest that on rails design isn't like is a design of limitations that should be surpassed, and I don't agree with that. I think
Right, me either.
I think constrained and limited game design can be extremely desirable. You don't want a game where you can just literally do anything, go anywhere. Like having some sort of constraint and limitation. While they're big into eyeballs on bosses, or I don't know if this is the boss or not. These like real photoreal eyeballs. But you know, I think I think it's like a valid design that like pushes you forward, and you know, it can be very engaging and fun to replay and stuff. You know, I mean, gosh, I mean, Sin and Punishment Star Successor, my word, what a game.
Yeah. And it's so good because they like said we're gonna stick with the on rails and just do like everything that we want to do.
Exactly.
And I mean,
just
like
like Eric Fox says here with a $5 super chat, nothing wrong with some rails.
That's right.
Yeah, Mr. Do, you're not wrong. Sin and Punishment Star Successor is the best game on the Wii that hasn't been officially re-released.
Yeah.
Without question. Now that you know, Mario Galaxy is on the Switch, and Kirby's Return to Dreamland is on Switch. Like those three games are the top three games, in my humble opinion. Is that a dog moai?
Yeah, it's just a moai.
Is that like he's got like Snoopy ears, right?
Maybe those ears. I don't know. It doesn't seem particularly
They
out of
look.
place.
They very much look like dog ears. Floppy dog. Holy smokes, Zane's dad.
What?
I think I spent like $800 on the Wii U and 3DS this last week.
Oh, jeez.
Did you watch the Completionists video?
No, I've heard so much about it though. It cost like $20,000.
I mean, I watched like half of it.
But someone was telling me about it, about how like they had to like download games in shifts because it just like took so long to download everything.
Right. Well, it not only took so long to download everything, it took so long to enter the money, and there was a limit of how much you could add per day. So they were worried that they weren't even going to have time. And I think they actually lost. I believe they lost access to some games that were available when they started the process, but because they couldn't do it as quickly as they thought they would, some games were delisted before
That's insane.
they could do everything. So
Yeah. No, this is. You know, even the ship looks pretty cool on this.
wait, Mario Maker 1 is delisted? That's insane to me. Why would they do that? That's wild.
All right, we'll do one more level and then call it a night. I gotta get up at 5:30 tomorrow.
Huh?
So I gotta get up at 5:30 tomorrow.
5:30? Why?
Because I've been going to the gym 3 days a week, and I take my kids to school, and I get up at 5:30 so that I have enough time to get my day prepped. Because by the time I finish at the gym, I get home at like 9:30.
These reflections look cool.
Yeah. But I only get up at 5:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I mean, I could do like a video on this game just talking about how cool it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the kind of thing that I want to get into doing, honestly. And you know, that's why I think it's good that you came up with this idea to consolidate Analog Frontiers 4 and 5, because I'm ready to move on to just like whenever I feel a random whim to be like, hey, this is cool, I want to do something about this. Like, I don't want to feel like, yeah, but I shouldn't because I should be working on this, you know? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm very proud of Analog Frontiers, but the sheer scale of the project has definitely, I think, been bad for the channel overall. But I'm very proud of it. You know, that's not to say that I don't think it's an excellent thing we've done. But I've learned that I can't take on projects that could just take an unknown amount, just of such huge scope that you just have no clue how much time it can take. Oh, Mike Sherry has a good point with his $5 super chat here. Why would Nintendo delist the original Fire Emblem after only a month? Because they can. I forgot all about that. Did you get that special edition?
I didn't get the special edition. That didn't even have the game on the cartridge. It was just a download, right?
I think that's right. So yeah, I mean, I didn't. I honestly, I didn't even get that. I didn't even get the Fire Emblem thing. I didn't get the digital thing.
Oh.
I just wasn't that interested.
Yeah. I mean, I just did it because I felt like I don't want to run into a situation where I wish that I had.
I mean, that's why they put it up for 1 month.
Yeah. But it's not like it was super expensive though. It was like $6.99, I think. I'm pretty sure that I may have bought most of it with like gold coins or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should have, but I don't know. Like, I really did not like the DS version of that game. There was a DS remake, and considering how much I disliked that, like, I can't imagine I'd like the Famicom version anymore. But I really like Fire Emblem Echoes, but of course that was a significantly grander project than Shadow Dragon for the DS. I don't think they'll ever do any more Fire Emblem Echoes. Like they acted like that was going to become. I feel like they said in the direct something like oh yeah, that's like it's going to be.
I don't know if it sold very well. That was one of the only ones I ever saw at Target on clearance.
I mean, the thing is, I felt like I never really heard anyone talk about, but then once I started playing it and I mentioned it to them, like, oh yeah, that's like my favorite one.
Yeah,
it was great. It was extremely good.
I don't really have too much luck with the Target clearance these days, but I did recently get that new Star Ocean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's only one on clearance at my Target for the PS5 version. It was $17.99.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, that's surprising that it was like so.
What? I gotta go see what it is on Amazon.
It's I looked it up and it's like 30 something.
So it's gone down.
Oh,
I mean, I definitely want to get it. Oh yeah, it's $30. I mean, that's not bad.
no.
Valkyrie Elysium is also.
Yeah, I saw that
$30.
at Best Buy yesterday for $29.99. I'm like, I feel like probably gonna be another.
It'll get lower.
Oh, see, that's another one I want to get is a Tactics Ogre Reborn, but I feel like I kind of want the Switch version of that.
I mean, that game's got really bad scaling. I don't think you can disable it. I've got the PSP version. That's
Yeah, but I just heard.
That's why I intend to play. That one's also got bad scaling at first, but John says that once you actually can go into battle, there's like a button you can hit, and it like then you can put the game into like 1-to-1 scale.
You know, I still have. I think I have the PSP version, and I think it's still sealed. So I got it digitally, and I got it for cheap, I think, on the PSP. Even though I had it digitally first.
Data 1153 dropped a $2 super chat saying favorite 3D and a 3DS game. Me, Outrun widescreen.
Yeah, I mean, literally any of those Sega 3D ages that were on there, like those were like I think those are the best things that came out on there. But that's just me talking.
I mean,
they had the best 3D, I think, like of anything.
That's probably the best 3D. But you know, like in terms of like 3D used for like gameplay purposes, like I feel like Super Mario 3D Land is not a game that will port very easily in the future.
Yeah.
But if it is ported in the future, I think it's going to require extensive reworking of the camera, because the camera is designed in that game to you expecting you're using the 3D. Like I remember back when we did that 3DS capture episode, I tried Super Mario 3D Land on Citra, and I was actually surprised how difficult it was to play just because of the camera angles. Like it was like, wow, like I am having a hard time like judging perspective and judging depth and you know where I'm going and where I should go without seeing the 3D. But I was a big fan of the 3D on 3DS. I mean, I still am. I feel like most people wrote it off, but I love the effect. Even before the new 3DS, I really like it. Let me this obnoxious table with these games I gotta clean is in front of my 3DS.
I can't believe how many N64 games there are there. You have more games there than I even have the entire system.
Well, I did actually like clean a bunch of the games. I cleaned everything that wasn't a cartridge game.
Let's see what this level looks like.
You're just that enticed by this game.
Yeah.
Oh
geez, oh my god, we got hover bikes.
Oh no,
this is like Burning Force right here. Oh my god.
I'm watching with great anticipation. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, this has got to be Burning Force.
I mean, it also makes me think of what's that? Was it Night Striker?
Yeah, a little bit. But it's I don't know. This feels. I mean, Like, you know what Burning Force is, right?
I know. It's a game I always forget exists, but like I kind of want to get. I don't. Is it expensive?
I don't know.
I'll look it up on eBay.
I mean, there's also a level in Sin and Punishment.
$45, $50. It's not the cheapest. There's some super expensive ones, but it looks like it can be obtained for less. Yeah, I mean that's a game I always forget exists, but every time you've shown it in several videos and it looks cool.
There's not much to it.
So it seems to me that this game is like the reverse of Star Fox, where like the heroes are monkeys and everyone else is not a monkey. Oh, look at how it tumbles when it blows up. That's great. Okay. So I got distracted. I was going to look at my 3DS collection and see if I could come up with anything outside of the Sega 3D Classics that was a really good 3D. Let's see. You know, doesn't Detective Pikachu not even have 3D?
I don't know. Do you have that?
I do. I briefly started it and never got back to it. You know what games have bad 3D are the mainline Pokemon games, because they only have 3D during battle anyway, and it makes the frame rate terrible. So I played those with 3D off. There was only a very few games where I played with 3D off. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think Hey Pikmin also doesn't have 3D. I got that and Fire Emblem Warriors. I got those on clearance at Target. Those were some of my few
level's like way harder than the other
Target gets. Target clearance gets. I mean, Fire Emblem Warriors I just got because I thought it would be cool to have a 3DS exclusive game, even though I didn't need it because I have a Switch version. But like, I just thought like, hey, you know, you never know, in the future you might need to demonstrate a new 3DS exclusive. Let's see. I mean, the Kirby Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot have nice 3D because, you know, it's like 60 frames per second, 3D not 3D platforming, but 3D visuals, 2D platforming. It's just nice because it has the high frame rate. Oh, Link Between Worlds is really good because of how it plays with the, you know, the classic style perspective within a 3D space. Although that game, man, I really wish that would come out on the Switch. That would be incredible. Let's see, what else is there?
Oh, look at this thing.
I don't know much about the 3D and like Samus Returns. Oh, look at this. That's big. Let's see, what else is there here on my 3DS list? I mean, like I said, Super Mario 3D Land is pretty effective and necessary. Pilot Wings Resort has like, you know, since that was like so early, it's got like this extreme depth to it, and that was like one of the few games that I didn't play with 3D on at full blast because it was too strong. I put it at about halfway. But if you really want stuff to look like way far away and like have serious depth, Pilot Wings Resort definitely did that. So yeah, I would say maybe A Link Between Worlds is the most. I would say between A Link Between Worlds and Kirby Plant Robobot and Triple Deluxe, which are probably also my favorite 3DS games. Kid Icarus Uprising is also up there, as well as Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Echoes.
Oh, we got another Space Harrier level.
You went from just like, oh, I'm just going.
Well, no, it's like a bonus level, I think.
Oh, okay. Did you finish the level?
Yeah, I finished the level, and then I think you get the data things. Like if you pick up the data chips, you get. Oh.
Oh, okay. You get one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game looks. I desperately hope for a console version, preferably physical.
I mean, who knows? They could be several years off if it's.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have a lot of interest in like playing an unfinished game,
Yeah.
But I sure as heck enjoy looking at it on the stream. But I can wait. I can wait for the finished game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they really should have done. I mean, not only should they have done Wario Land Virtual Boy, they should have done all kinds. They should have done several Virtual Boys. Of course, Wario Land is probably the best Virtual Boy, but still, yeah, that's a missed opportunity. It probably would have been. I mean, considering Virtual Boy is. Well, I mean, it's 32-bit, and yes, there was technically some 3DS or some GBA stuff on 3DS, but it was like tapping into the hardware to an extent. So I don't know if it would have been too big of an ask to do emulation of Virtual Boy just because it was 32-bit. I don't know. I mean, I'm no emulator developer. But also Virtual Boy's, I think 50 hertz, so that could have also caused complications.
All these to the under construction. The next level is under construction.
Well,
Say thank you for playing the early access release of Ex-Zodiac. And if you've enjoyed what you played so far, more missions are in development, so please check back soon. Yeah. I mean, more so than a lot of games, this feels like it's specifically like made for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it just like it inspires so much that I love about games, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it. Like, how many people were a fan? Were
like, it's the credits. It's like everything basically by this guy Ben Hickling, except for the music and some of the sound effects. And start on dialogue now.
But, how many people were like equally obsessed with Space Harrier and Star Fox 1?
Yeah,
it's you. Like both of those games, and this game is like playing into that love very specifically.
Yes,
it's kind of funny. Like, I mean, not that like Lightning Returns is exactly the same thing, but like I always think like, why does this game exist? Because like, who who thought this game design? Oh, Epos Vox
Oh yeah.
was in the credits.
Oh.
But it's like who thought anyone but me wanted this game? The way
Yeah.
that's like designed.
There's a lot of
like,
people here. I mean, I would have
Is it-
kickstarted this, but I had no idea.
Kickstarter backers, or are these people who've contributed?
I don't know if it's Kickstarter, but it's just like I don't know.
It feels like Kickstarter.
Mhm. Patrick Power Nap Man Meyer. His
Gilly
nickname
Gamer
is
is
Power
asking,
Nap
did you
Man.
play Star Fox 3DS? You know, I never got that until I could get it for like $20, like many years later, and I've still never played it. And John keeps hyping it up to me. He says it's really good. Have you played it?
Yeah, I finished. I finished at least the easy route on it.
I feel like, I mean, I guess like when the system launched, I was just like, well, I don't need this. You know, I've played the N64 version plenty of times, and I think later on, then after like I felt so burned on the Majora's Mask 3D, I was then more just like, yeah. I liked Ocarina of Time though. Ocarina of Time 3D was good, but I had not liked what they did to Majora's Mask.
Good stuff.
Oh, we've got Wascoot, W Scoot, saying I backed the Kickstarter for this. Actually, not enough to get in the credits. So okay, so there was a Kickstarter. Oh, it's interesting that it shows an Xbox button for the menu on the interface.
But it changes
That's
depending.
funny.
So here's another one. This is
I mean, but you're playing with a Switch controller.
well, I mean, technically, yeah.
Are you in Xbox mode though?
Well, it's just in. Yeah, I guess. So this Violet Wisteria was like
Yeah.
sent. I mean, a lot of the stuff, like if Steam stuff shows up in, like in our email, like just like install it on here. So this Violet Wisteria came through, and it's like it's a Valis homage.
Oh.
I didn't
might have
particularly care for it when I tried it. I'll show you what it looks like though.
That crab Famicom controller is funny.
It has like a color coded thing that I don't really care for. You got to hold up to like attack blue, and enemies can only be defeated with like certain colors.
Huh. Yeah, this does have a strange look about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like the color.
The parallax layers move at a weird rate too.
Yeah.
I mean the main character is not too bad, but like I don't like the backgrounds that much.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a weird move.
Well, if you attack with the wrong color, you bounce off, and it can like spring you. It's just I'm not like a big fan of like the color coding aspect of it.
Yeah, it seems like that's adding complexity that a Valis tribute doesn't necessarily need.
Yeah. And really quick, what I'll do is here's another one.
What makes it great, you know?
Yeah. Let me show you where is it. This like the Polpo, which is the jumping flash. Homage.
Oh.
And they actually sent this on Twitter, like their DM, and I like said, "Oh, tell me what you think." And I said, I like this stuff about it. I don't like the fuel aspect of this. And they're like, okay, then made like a patched it and said, arcade mode gets rid of the fuel aspect.
Huh.
I just caused, like, by not saying I wanted to,
Forza Polpo.
I had to restart the game because I chose new game and didn't want to erase my old one. I went back and it, like, wouldn't let me do anything.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's supposed to look glitchy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Oh. Oh. You got some weird looking CRTs.
Yeah.
I don't super love the tinting through the glass.
Hmm.
Like it makes the game feel less colorful than it should. Like when I said earlier that I like cool white balance, this is not what I meant.
But I like that it's really small. And you can go inside the buildings and stuff.
So you can walk. Jumping Flash, you have to jump all the time, right?
No.
Okay, I mean I've not played that much Jumping Flash. But yeah, you are kind of small, aren't you? That's fun.
Yeah. See, that's the thing I don't like about it, is like, I'm not sure if it's still like, you run out of energy when you move and shoot. And just, like, I don't have a problem with it, like, when you shoot, but I think it's silly to have it, you run out of energy if you were just moving.
Oh, so like moving and shooting consumes energy.
Yes, but the arcade mode removes that aspect.
I see. I mean, I maybe they're going for more of like a almost like a strategy sort of.
But you see my energy meter up the top. I'm just moving. It's like slowly going down, and you can pick up these things, and you can refill your health with it. I don't remember how to do it. Is it? No, it's not that.
I mean, I can understand why they did that. I think I could live with that aspect.
I don't know. I feel like it discourages exploration in a game like this. Like, it feels like it should be about exploring.
I mean, in some ways, I would appreciate sort of it being like, you know, like, hey, you need to stay focused on the action. But like, I get what you're saying, where like the world seems interesting enough that you do want to explore, right?
Well, and it just like being free roaming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you don't know exactly where you're going,
it may be a strange fit for this game.
Yeah. But I said, you know, I don't like the energy aspect, and they said, oh, you're not the only one that's like complained about that. And that's when the arcade mode came out. I think this is like another one one person thing too, though. It's pretty neat, though, right? Like it's
Yeah, it's interesting. I wish I wish that the thing I like least just from watching it is
the overlay,
I
like the
tint.
filtering or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, you know, Metroid Prime, you know, you're viewing, there's you have the frame that lets you see that you're viewing through Samus's visor, but it's not, you know, you still feel like you're seeing the world clearly, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing the full vividness of the colors. And here, I don't like how the colors look. But maybe there's an option to change that. Seems
Yeah.
like there would be.
See, arcade mode equals no battery consumption, increased enemy damage, and less energy refill. Simulation mode is rebalanced with reduced battery consumption. That's good. All right, so that's what I got. I guess went a little bit later, almost an hour later. But,
Yeah.
but it's fun, you know. Like it's a system that I haven't streamed before, and it's better than putting in Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster and being like, why did they do this?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like, I mean, I don't know if we talked about it on stream. I bought it when it was on sale. It was like $13. I said, if I'm gonna buy one Pixel Remaster, that's what's gonna be. And I was like immediately annoyed with it.
You have Final Fantasy 11 on here?
I mean, I had the PC version. I think I got it when it was on sale.
I wonder if is Final Fantasy 11 playable on Steam Deck?
I don't know. I'm not gonna try. I don't have it installed.
I mean, yeah.
But I mean, Final Fantasy VI, I was immediately annoyed because, like, they remove the credits from the like the walk towards Narsh at the beginning, and it just felt like such a huge miss to do that because, I mean, I remember the first time I played it, and the fact that it had credits during that is what made it seem like this is a big deal.
Right.
I hate that they did that. Hate it. All right. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great couple of weeks. Like I said, no stream next week.
If you'll be at Missouri Game Con, or not, how do I keep saying Missouri?
I don't know, because it's Milwaukee.
Because it starts with an M, Midwest Gaming Classic. It is not in Missouri. It is in Wisconsin.
Yeah. And, you know, hopefully we'll see you there. Hope everyone has a good Sunday night and does something fun with their time. I'm going to be cramming all week trying to get this ROM hacks video out, and if anyone wants to hang out with me while I do that these next few days, like check out the Twitch channel, which is just My Life in Gaming, all is one big long word, and I'll be doing that throughout the day coming up here tomorrow, many days after that probably. Anyways, thanks everybody who donated, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful week, and we will see you soon. Take care. And good